Oh, you crashed on me? No, that's not cool either.
All right, I think it looks a little bit better. Maybe that reset did something for us. So we're back. So we just did our character introductions, and so let's get started. The keep, as some of the characters know, has been recently visited by a wealthy gnomish merchant and sage named Anaxi Zephyres, or as he more commonly has been referred to as the Cardophile. Adventurers, many adventurers are showing up at the keep in hopes of receiving an invitation to meet with Anaxi, for it is said that he pays quite well. And currently, he is researching information dug up from the libraries of an old wizard who once laired in this region. Um, you five are all sort of the envy of more some of your fellow adventurers, for you all have received such an invitation, um, and you are to meet with him at his private apartment at the keep on the Borderlands. And so that is where we begin, with you all having gathered and waiting your host. You are all seated in this kind of lavish room around an oval cherry wood table, upon which numerous beverages from mead, wine, ciders, and almond milk have been laid out. Muffins, biscuits, and an ample supply of fruit spreads and jellies are also present. The room itself is very comfortable, and the furnishings and decor make it clear of the Cartophile's position in the social uh, ladder. There is a roaring fire that is lit here, and above it, a framed map of the recently charted Isle of Dread positioned over the hearth.
Hey, I've been there.
As usual, Cartophile, your hospitality is unmatched in the keep, of course.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Thanks a lot. Well, it's cool.
Yeah, and so just at this moment, you see he has entered, and he says, "Scenario, it is of course good to see you once again."
You found anything interesting in my books?
I have indeed. And for those of you that have not met him yet, the Cardophile is a gnome. He is dressed in a kind of a white ruffle shirt over which he wears a camel hair jacket. He's got a waxed goatee that kind of juts out from his chin almost like a horn, and then a tuft of hair that sticks right out of his balding head, kind of almost symmetrical or opposite of that. I think I've got an image of what he looks like that'll pop up here on the screen. But here is um, your host for the evening, and he says, "Yes, scenario. Those books that we have brought back from Quasquetin are very interesting indeed. And you, Rurik, that map that you found on one of your adventures. I've gleaned some information of that as well. Um, so, as you can see, some of you I'm well acquainted with, and others of you I'm just meeting for the first time. Um, Allow me to introduce myself. I am the Cartophile, and I am here. My business on the Borderlands well, concerns learning about a sage who once lived in these region. His name being Qualish. I'm not sure if you have heard this name before, but he is a scholar of old who took some interest in the things that we see in the sky, stars, galaxies, and the cosmos. And of course, as you can see, with that red star in the sky, this is a very timely piece of research for me to undertake. Maybe there is something that we can learn from Qualish that might help us to understand what is happening in the present. I have been working tirelessly, poring over these old books and records and maps that we have found, and I believe that I have made a discovery about Qualish. He did not he did not perish here in the Borderlands. In fact, we don't know what happened to him. It would seem that some 400 years ago, he left on an expedition north of here into the mostly uncharted Barrier Peaks. And he rolls out kind of the map, Rurik, that you found. Yeah, Pruno, your character was there too, right? I think it was Rhea that was on the adventure where you found the map, right?
Raya, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Raya was
Okay.
there. Scenario was not.
So that map is rolled out, the one that kind of charted some kind of a path through the mountains and seemed to go. There was a name that was listed on there, Dawin Gloin. And the cartophile says Dawin Gloin is the name of a place that Qualish was very much looking for. A place of legend, a city called the City of Glass. It was said that this city had the most renowned and skilled craftsmen and glassblowers. He was interested in meeting these people because he was hoping that they could create lenses and devices that might help him better study the stars above us. And something just happened here.
Oh no.
Oh, Casey just redeemed it. Name an NPC. I trust Casey to invent something for us there. So let us know. The cartophile here, he says, I would like to find out what happened to Qualish's expedition. Did he ever find the City of Glass? Why did he not return? Is there such thing as the City of Glass? All of these questions I have. He points down at the map again, and he points to where the line goes through the Barrier Peaks, and he says, this right here would seem that Qualish got through the Barrier Peaks by using some kind of a cavern network. I've never heard of this before. In fact, we don't have any accurate maps or charts of the Barrier Peaks. If there is an easy way to get through, I might be able to fund an expedition to go through those Barrier Peaks and try to dig into this deeper. This comes to my ask for you lot. I would like for you to go up there to the Barrier Peaks and find out if this is a viable route for us to take, if this is possible to get through the Barrier Peaks by means of this cavern. For your trouble, of course, I am willing to pay you handsomely. Let's say 1,000 gold each for going to the Barrier Peaks and verifying that this does indeed make it out to the other side.
What sort of evidence do you need, and how far do we need to go? Do we need to make sure that there is a way out, or do we need to clear it a certain way? What is the plan?
Just verify for me that it is possible for us to use this network.
So you
So
need
if
to
you
know
can
that
confirm
you can
this
enter
by-
one end and come out the other.
Yes,
Oh.
precisely. The mountains are far too treacherous to send a large-scale expedition through. If this path isn't viable, I will have to brainstorm another method or another way. But this seems like our best bet. But I want to make sure that it is safe and that it is viable before I send a huge party up that way.
And if it's not safe,
If it is not safe, I will pay you nonetheless to verify this. But if you encounter any troubles or something that you feel is within your capabilities of dealing with, I will pay you an additional 500 gold.
This is good. The hazard pay we discussed last time.
oh,
Hazard pay.
hope we get into trouble.
Oh, what? Like, I don't know, flying
Ooh.
blue dragons along the way?
He was
or-
like, you can see he's
That would
like,
be fun.
"Mm."
That would be fun.
Oh, yes, it's very, very exciting. It's a fun and crispy experience.
I did hear the tale
Uh-huh.
of that. Yes.
I'm used to resist.
And caverns or places underground with, are generally not very dangerous for us. I mean, we've all made it back, right? From those expeditions?
So far, I have made it back from everyone.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be
I
sitting.
can't say the same, but sure.
So it doesn't seem like it's too much of a stretch for us to be able to manage this.
Well, very good. I can get started on the paperwork and have it all filed and make sure that your contracts are in order. I
I
believe
would say that
you'll...
the terms are more than fair.
Yeah, that's cool.
I will not argue with that.
So, do we have any way of perhaps leaving a message or some sort of bequest should we not make it back?
Well, I will have it written
I-
into your contracts. If you have anyone that you'd like to pass your wealth onto, should you not make the return journey, I will make 100% every effort to make sure that your final requests are made.
That will not be necessary for Scenario. Scenario will return.
I'm very positive that you will. Val, can I please just have a word? I will give you the information that I'd like to be included in my contract. I really don't want everybody else to hear this.
Absolutely. We're in no rush. We can take the evening to meet and make sure that the paperwork is all filed, and I will make sure to have copies on file with the bank house.
Thank you.
So this will take some time. You can meet with him privately to kind of set up the arrangements and things like that. But for the evening, presumably your accommodations are all at the Stretching Goat, which is the tavern and inn here at the keep. Caters to clientele of both kind of the military guard that are stationed here and adventurers and merchants like yourselves. On your way, you will cut through where there's basically a sort of courtyard where some of the main buildings that support the civilian life here at the keep, including the loan bank, some stores, but there's kind of a little bit of a growing marketplace, kind of an open-air marketplace that's starting to spring up. And on your way back to the Stretching Goat, you do take notice that there is a cloaked... you kind of have to do a double take when you see him, but a cloaked hobgoblin who is hammering with nails and a hammer a little stall, kind of shabby, kind of rickety makeshift stall. And he's got some shelves that he's built, and there are some wares that he's already put out for sale with little misspelled signs and things. And his little marketing sandwich board out front just says this and that. And right next to him, set up with probably a similar type of setup, but maybe with a little bit more care, are two kids. A boy, maybe about 14 years of age, and a girl, maybe about 12. And they're setting up what basically looks like a fish and tackle store with jars of worms and fish, kind of fishing poles and things like that. And they're just kind of eyeing that hobgoblin kind of with some ire, kind of get him in the stink face. But as you're passing by, the hobgoblin looks at you all and he says, "Oh, look, I can tell you all are in the market for adventuring gear. I've got good stuff."
Huh? Oh yeah. What do you got?
Yeah, this one. He turns around and grabs this bottle. It's got kind of a translucent, kind of like really bright red liquid in it. He's like, "This one, yes. Drink this. You become like a dragon. Breathe like a dragon. Yeah, you want?"
But what if you already do that?
No, different dragon, more powerful
gotcha.
dragon.
I get
Huh?
I mean, red dragon. Fire breath.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds really cool. I'll do it. Sure.
273 gold.
Oh yeah, take it. Cool.
Oh, okay, and he sells that to you. You can deduct the 273 off, and
Right.
I'll add that to your character sheet, Jarl.
Your pricing model is interesting.
I thought it was pretty. Look at how cool. Wow.
Taxes.
It's totally worth it. Whoa. It's a nice looking bottle.
You want more? I got more. This one. He grabs another one. It's kind of this like inky black liquid in it. It's in like a mason jar. In the Borderlands, lots of undeath. This one help you. Not so much undeath. Protect you. 133 gold.
That seems very fair. Whoa.
Tastes bad, but powerful.
Oh.
Well, like,
Yeah, why
how much
not?
are we talking
Okay,
here?
I got a little bit of coin. Go ahead. Yeah, sure.
All right. Deduct another 133 gold off of that. Yeah,
One
you should
of
see
you,
that
one
on
of the
your,
two of you
like,
is making out
inventory.
like a bandit here. I don't know which.
I'm just as confused as you are about this regard.
This is a pretty cool. Jarl just kind of just hands over the coin. And he's too interested in the way they look. He's kind of looking through the glasses, looking at
What
both
do you
of
think would
them.
happen if you mix them together and drink it together?
What if you
you
spew
look
out?
to Jarl. Jarl's already kind of. He's already kind of looking at both.
You like reading spells. I got scrolls. Yeah? And he
Sure.
goes, he's got this
Yeah,
bundle of
that's what sounds
scrolls. And again, like he lays them out scenario, you see like a lot of them are sham ones, but he like seems like he knows like, okay, you guys are a little too smart for this scam, so he pulls out the two real ones and he says,
You have
okay,
done this one before. We have seen this trick.
yeah.
Great.
No, for you, real scroll. Real scroll. This one, Scroll of Magic Weapon. Ooh. Yes.
That would be handy, I think. Do we have... what is the price of that?
230. 2.
That sounds very reasonable.
I will give
I
you
can-
180 gold.
Make a persuasion check. He says, 201.
193.
198.
195 when we call it good. Yes?
Okay. Sold. And do you have the DMG where you can find that?
Yeah, I can get that.
Okay.
There was a scroll of... I
Magic
forget
weapon.
what I was buying.
Magic weapon.
And he's like, you almost clear me out, but I have more. This one, here. Scroll of Levitate, make you very light, very floaty. Very good. 87 gold.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pass on that one.
No good. Okay. How about this? And he pulls out a wand. Ooh, you be like a spider. Web everywhere. Get in a
Like-
sticky situation, solve it with the wand of web.
So to break the sticky situation, we have to use something.
Fight fire with
sticky,
fire.
so
Fight web with web. It's a hobgoblin proverb.
Oh, I've heard that one before. Yeah.
You have? Okay. I don't believe you, but I'll accept it.
I think anyway.
375 for this. Very good. No good?
as interesting as it
elegant.
sounds, I kind of broke the bank recently, so I can't really purchase it.
And as you're all congregating there around the shop, one of the kids is proclaiming, "High quality tackle, high quality bait. This is Satan the caterpillar. Among all the baits, this one is our most cherished. It will land fish for you, and it will."
What a lovely name.
Yes, it just convinces the fish to jump into your boat. Reusable,
America does not have a
100%.
boat.
I know someone who can talk to a fish. Why can't I just use them to jump in the boat?
Well, did they have a tongue like Satan the caterpillar?
I think
Caterpillar
so.
has a tongue.
Um,
Does it speak?
Silver tongue. It has it speaks fish common.
it speaks fish common.
Oh,
Alex, it does not appear that I can get to those scrolls.
Okay.
The DMG I have is the player's version.
Oh, so it doesn't give you access to magic items. I'll drop
Correct.
them on there for you. It was, let's see, scroll of magic weapon.
Magic weapon. Yep.
Boat not included. Okay, it should be on there.
Great.
oops.
So what does Satan look like?
And you just look, it's just like a monarch, like caterpillar in there.
When you have a second, could you identify
Sure.
it?
So you're saying this bait can talk to fish?
Yes, yes. And the little girl is just like, mm-hmm.
It's
Will it also clean and cook the fish for you, so that you don't need to do that part? That part is always a little is not so nice.
Yeah, we got a bait for that too. And the little boy like throws out another jar of just like earthworms.
This is bait that will clean and cook the fish for you.
Mm-hmm.
How much is that?
All of our wares have been blessed by the house of Father Sineg.
That is very impressive.
The little girl says, "It is truly."
That is very impressive. I applaud
How
this
much-
endeavor.
How much for Satan?
5 silver.
Hmm.
for a
You know what?
And the little
I
girl is
like
like, "You're asking too much."
I will give you 10 gold for the lot.
And the little boy is just like, "Okay."
11 gold.
Oh, and then the hobgoblin is just like, "This is good. You got a bidding war on."
I'm just gonna shake my head and walk away and
11 gold just for Satan.
thumbs up.
Not even the whole lot.
I will still give you 10 gold for the rest.
Okay. And then he says, "Sold." And
I just
Cole-
throw my entire coin purse of 11 gold pieces at them, and now I'm officially out of gold.
Scenario and Selvin, both of you take a point of inspiration for making some peasant kids very, very happy and apparently wealthy.
I will then turn around after they have given me the jar of worms and surreptitiously place them on the hobgoblin's cart and leave them there.
How much do you want for those?
Current rate,
Uh,
10
and I
gold.
would 24 sleight of hand to slip them into his things.
Okay, so you, some of his, like, scrolls and stuff now have, like, maggoty worms and stuff
It's just
like
a
that.
jar of worms. I put the whole jar in there.
Oh, like the full jar.
Yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
I hid the jar in the hobgoblin stuff. I
Gotcha.
don't want it. I just really applaud those kids on their scam.
Awesome.
Let's look like make a kid smile.
Those kids may grow up to be like Scenario one day.
Oh, we all want that, trust me.
So you all end up heading back to the tavern and maybe regaling something of this story and others that you have. But in the morning, you all wake and gather your things. And any last things that you need to do in town before you head out on your journey?
How far of a how much travel is it to the mountains themselves?
Qualish would have told you that he suspects it's maybe like a 3-day journey to get to the mountains, and then you might have another day or so of a climb to get to the mouth of that cavern.
I mean, if we want, we can rent horses. I mean, I already have a horse, but if you want like rent horses, we could probably make the journey much quicker, much more.
I do not mind the horse, provided there is no penalty if it does not return.
Whatever the prices are in the player's handbook for horses are what I'll go with for that.
So perhaps it would be best to buy rather than rent on such an endeavor.
But 50 gold for a draft horse. I guess if you're really looking to double your speed, you'll go with the riding horse, which is 75 gold. So you could cut down your time to get to the mountains by a day and a half.
I think the riding horse sounds wonderful. I will buy a riding horse. Yes.
I'll split one with somebody.
I mean, if anyone needs to double up, I have a war horse we could use to save gold for everybody.
Okay, if that's the case, then is it okay if I ride with you?
Oh, sure. I'm pretty sure Stream won't mind it.
I'll get a riding horse.
I will spend 100 gold total to get the riding horse and the riding saddle and the saddlebags and all of the whole shebang.
Carl won't say anything. He'll just hope he'll be able to jump on with somebody.
Well, if you're doubling up on the horse, you might end up defeating the purpose.
No, you look fast. I'm sure you can keep up anyway.
Oh yeah. Sorry guys. I probably should have got a horse.
How much is
If
it
you-
for a horse?
75.
Kind of spent quite a bit on those potions.
If you'd like, I can throw some silver your way, if that would be any consolation.
And then a riding saddle is 10 gold, and the bit and bridle is 2 gold.
Okay, so I'm writing out a small contract right now. And I'll say, okay, I'm going to give you this money for your horse.
Okay.
Here's the contract. Take a look at the fine print, because I don't want anybody to say that I cheated you.
Okay.
Okay. Do you understand compound interest?
Yes. And
No,
Jarl's
no
kind of
one
looking
does,
at
really.
it. He's already starting to sign it. Yes.
Wonderful. There you go. 22 is not a bad number.
Yeah. So far, yeah. There you go. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Let me go ahead and transfer the gold to whoever I'm transferring the gold to.
I
So, sounds like you are all equipped with riding horses and are taking to the Whispering Wood, to the north of the keep. So your horses will help you to cut down that travel time. So day and a half will just kind of cut through. Nothing happens, nothing too eventful while you're in the woods. But eventually, you make it to the point where the woods kind of transition into the foothills and the rocky crags that make you aware that you have reached the boundary of the beginning of the slopes into the barrier peaks. You all are kind of looking upward. You've not heard much about these mountains, which maybe gives you pause as to what is it that you might expect to find up there. a couple of you have kind of ventured about this far in the past in some of the previous adventures, like the Hobgoblin town would be probably not far from here, and those types of things. You didn't go too deep into the mountains to get to those places, and you were probably keeping a keen eye on the horizon for blue dragon sightings, as that has been a very real threat. But you all mentally prepare yourselves for the trek going forward as you begin to make the ascent up a very steep slope, helping each other as you go. We're going to do maybe just a couple of skill checks to kind of take us through what this overland journey up the slopes kind of looks like. Those of you that have climbing gear, if you bought climbing gear, you can make this check at advantage, but please give me a strength athletics check. If you got climbing gear, do it at advantage, and this is going to kind of represent your how well are you handling climbing over the course of the next day or so. And why don't we just go one by one? Scenario, what did you have?
A 17.
Okay. So with the climbing gear, you're managing no problem, kind of keeping at a good pace. Looks like Rurik, a 13, you're doing well. Selvin, the same. Nilmerg and Jarl, where you can find your skills is on that second page of your character sheet.
Okay.
And if you bought the climbing gear, what you can do is in the lower left-hand corner of your Fantasy Grounds application, you'll see there's a little button that says ADV. You can click that before you do the roll for your skill, and it'll give you advantage. And the way to activate that skill would be to double-click on the skills modifier. So whatever your modifier is for that skill, you can double-click that. It'll pop it in the chat.
Okay. You got it. All right. So just as far as rolling, you said that do I just pull the die into the?
Just double click
that
on
would work
the
too.
on your skill, the number on your skill.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so Nilmerg, you're having just a little bit of trouble kind of keeping up. There's probably a couple of tumbles that you make along the way. Nothing major or life shattering. It's just kind of slowing the group down a little bit, and so the others have to kind of help you along a little bit as you're going, and so we're just going to see. And as this is happening, maybe there's just like another, like you kind of lose, like you're using your pitons to kind of climb up the wall at a particular point, and you lose you kind of fall again, and your rope, your harness kind of catches you. You only drop and you're hanging kind of suspended 20 feet from your last python or whatever on a vertical shelf of rock, when you can see out in the distance a winged creature flying, a blue dragon.
Oh, Rurik, your friend is here.
Wait, Rurik is friends with a blue dragon? Wait, what?
It's probably out some maybe like 500 feet, and you can't be sure whether it's spotted or seen you, but it does seem to be kind of circling kind of in the sky over a ways.
I don't suppose it can smell us from that distance.
I mean, I can smell all right. My, let's say older cousins, much stronger, beefier older cousins could probably do that. So I'd recommend us not staying here that much longer.
So
But
he's
we have
not your
masking us
friend.
entirely.
Have chwingas. They could mask us.
The last, Didn't they make a really bad stink the last time we saw them?
They did.
Wouldn't
I
that
heard
be
that they
more
can do that.
conspicuous?
So Maureen, you want to invoke the power of your Chwinga?
I do want to invoke the power of my Chwinga and in some particularly miraculous way try and communicate with it what it is. Just the question, well, can he safely produce a scent that will distract the blue dragon?
What did you have him held in? I don't remember.
There's an amulet
Okay.
that I have around my neck.
So, for those of you who maybe don't know what we're talking about, the Chwingas are these tiny little elemental creatures that you see in the photo there that were taken from the Isle of Dread. Well, not taken, but journeyed of their own free will to the away from their home on the boat that carried some adventurers there, and Rurik has one. So you pull out your amulet and you're maybe asking it if it can help or whatnot, and bloop, it kind of just apparates and is standing right on top of the amulet in your hand. It's that tiny, and it just and it's looking out at the horizon. Ah! And it does a little, rabbits kind of like freak out, and then it goes whoa, 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 and it waves its little pointer fingers around, and you could kind of feel this magical energy kind of passes over all of you as you're kind of noticing that you're all kind of blending into the stonework of the wall in the various places that you're at. So each of you basically has the effect of a pass without trace spell on. If you want to stand motionless here on the wall, you could attempt a stealth check to see if you can avoid the perception of the dragon as it does its flyby.
Definitely.
That seems like a good plan.
I mean, it's also +10, so can't complain. But also, I'm wearing not armor. It's good for this.
I have a 37.
I have 12.
So Selvin, you get spotted, and the dragon is going to do a flyby and try to hit you with its lightning breath. Please give me a dexterity saving throw.
I don't even know why I'm gonna bother with this. I'm not gonna make it.
Oh, so close.
And you will take a total
Oh
of
no.
56 points of lightning damage.
Okay. Is he within 30 feet of me?
He wouldn't be that close.
Okay.
He would be probably about
You okay?
60 feet or so as he flies by.
Just climb up the mountain, please.
Are you sure?
Let's get out of here, huh? Let's go.
It would appear that it is a mere warning for you to not trespass in this area, as the dragon kind of hits you with that, doesn't see the others, but flies off and leaves you alone for the remainder as you continue up the slope.
I guess there are disadvantages having new armor.
To be fair, you were just as bad at hiding in your old armor, so
That doesn't help.
I don't
Scenario.
think it was his friend.
That is the third time I've been hit with dragon breath, and I hate it. It never gets better.
Is there nothing we can do to sort of like help you develop any proficiency in sort of like withstanding this? Isn't it part of your, not to be racist or anything, like your heritage?
All right, quick dragon lesson 101, Rurik. I know you speak our tongue, but you don't know our culture.
No.
Me being of a white variety, I am more naturally suited to the mountainous cold environments. The lovely individual over there who struck me with lightning is more suited to those harsh, jungle-ish areas where it gets a lot of rainstorms. So I'm good in cold, not when the power of lightning has struck me in the back.
Man, this is like the second microaggression that you got hit up with because the vendor was like ragging on you weren't a red dragon.
Jeez.
So
Let's just climb the mountain.
yes. So one other thing, you got the map. You're trying to navigate your way to this cavern opening. Navigating there is a part of the challenge here. So one of you will have to try to use a survival check, or if you got other means of doing so, find this cave. And if there's a couple of you that are proficient in survival, you could do this with help at advantage.
I have the bard's proficiency in a little bit of everything. That's as close as I get.
Sounds like you're leading the charge of no one else volunteers scenario.
Well, I am a bounty hunter, so I am used to tracking things.
Are you skillful in the survival techniques?
Yes, I am.
Well, then perhaps I should assist you. Allow
Okay.
another to experience some of the glory.
I will teach you how to track.
Oh, trust me, my friend, Scenario knows how to track. You go ahead, though.
So you could go ahead and do so at advantage. 17. You're pretty apt at reading this map. Even it is kind of crude, and it's but you're able to kind of go off of some of the kind of cartoonish landmarks that Qualish left here on this map, and you are able to find the entrance to the cavern. And I think I'm going to have us maybe just take like a quick break because this map is a little hefty. And so I'm just thinking there might be a delay here as I try to share this with you all. So this might be a good time for us to take just a quick 5-minute break if anyone needs to go use the restroom or refresh drinks. Chat, people out watching us, we will be right back in about 5 or so. All right, hey everyone, we're back. Just took a quick break. So just a recap of like where we're at. Our heroes here were hired by a gnomish sage known as the Cardophile, who is staying at the keep on the Borderlands, a researcher who is interested in the journey of a kind of long forgotten about wizard and scholar and researcher named Qualish, who allegedly he discovered that he had taken a expedition into the Barrier Peaks, but was never seen again after the fact. The heroes have been hired to find out, kind of to follow Qualish's route through the Barrier Peaks and see if it is even possible to get through to the other side by ways of a cavern network that the Cardophile had found on a map that had been recovered in a previous adventure. Our adventurers now find themselves at the point where they believe that they have found the said cavern. You've all leveled up, or climbed up to an area where the altitude kind of levels out, kind of a plateau. Still a little bit hilly up here, but there's soil deposits such that some plant growth kind of is possible here. And just kind of a shelf that kind of juts out in between the cavernous walls around you. This plateau gives you some relief. Sounds like there's talk of taking a short rest, which I think you've more or less kind of taken care of during our break.
We haven't actually done it.
Oh, okay. You can go ahead and do so at this time. I'll give you the rest of the description after you've completed that.
Sorry to slow everyone down. This just hurts a lot.
Yeah, we had a run-in with a blue dragon. Poor Selvin was not able to
So
stay hidden.
remember to add a d6 to each of those two.
I think it's only used it once.
Uh,
I don't think it's per hit die. I think it's just an additional hit die or additional boost.
yeah, you do. Yeah, it's an additional d6. I always thought it was on each one. I guess I've always done that wrong.
Hit dice, hit dice. This feels great. Just use all of them. Why not? I'll live with that.
So, as you're kind of resting here, you're taking stock of the surrounding area. You see what you think up ahead looks like a natural cave mouth, maybe about 20 feet or so in width and height. And based on Neilmerg, you navigated yourselves to this spot. You think that that is the cavern that is marked on your spot that the cartophile wanted you to check out. But it has built around it a wooden palisade of tree logs that have been lashed together with leather straps, it looks like, and dug into the ground. The palisade wall is about 15 feet high. And it does look like maybe on the right side of the palisade is kind of a very crude gate. Like you could move a section of that wall out in order to gain access to it from the ground. Near the palisade, there's also this other strange kind of curiosity as you're moving up and looking to your left. There's like this divot that runs in the earth and looks almost as if it has been plowed with the soil has been plowed with some kind of tool or something, and the stretch of earth, it's, I don't know, the divot is maybe a foot deep or so, about 120 feet long, maybe about 15 feet wide or so. And at one end of the trench of earth, there are 10 stone statues which are carved with exquisite detail that stand in a triangular formation.
I feel like I've seen something like this, but I can't quite put my claw on it.
It
Does not look familiar to me.
Rourke is going to just sort of do this. It makes me want to pick up a big round rock.
I have never in my life had that conversion.
I feel like my clan used to do something like this, but on a much smaller scale. It's not ringing any bells.
Did you drink beer from very small glasses while you did it? Because that is always what I have heard of.
Oh, that'll be silly. I don't drink.
To him about the small glasses.
I don't drink, so it must be you.
Huh. Well, no. My friend has a tendency to find the biggest, deepest mugs we can.
Ah, well.
And make sure that we drip our beards into it.
That explains the smell.
You know that beer is very good for your hair. It gives it a good shimmer and shine.
Really? I did not. I do now, though.
I've heard of such things. It just doesn't really speak to me.
Well, you don't have hair, so that would be a reason.
I can't imagine it would do much for your...
You think it moistens and softens the scales? I don't really know how that works.
It's worth a try. Do you want to? We could, when we get back to town, I will buy you some beer. You can put it on.
Or we could, you could dip your pinky in it for an hour and see maybe if you feel a difference.
It might make you have to pee. I don't know.
We'll put a dagger into this conversation for later.
Oh.
Okay. I'll tell you what. If I get struck by lightning for a second time today, I'll let you do it. You know what? Here, I'll make it even better. If you get struck by lightning for a second time, I'll have a glass with you. There we go.
Okay. I'll remember that. Does anyone have an ability to use lightning?
Wait, what?
Nothing. Don't worry.
Maybe we could work on his resistance after all.
I don't think that's how that works.
After a few beers, perhaps, dude.
I think that if being struck by lightning were supposed to activate resistance to being struck, like immune at this point.
Look at that exquisite craftsmanship on that gate. I'm gonna walk over and get away from this conversation.
So
Save you guys. He just like almost died, and you're making fun of hitting him by like.
He's
I
doing
think it-
fine. Look at
I
him. He's
thought
healthy.
it could
He's healthy as a dragon.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
It could work. I wouldn't do it, but maybe.
I'm gonna
So,
try.
Selvin, as you are making your way to that gate, please give me a perception check.
Oh boy. Actual skills outside of combat. I love them.
Okay.
This wood appears to be made of wood.
Perhaps.
So you can see off to the right here is kind of where there's like a section. It's probably about 15 feet wide or so. That seems like it's not hinged or anything like that, but it could be moved. It's not apart. It's not strapped together in the same way as everything else. But there is a piece of leather up about 10 feet or so that kind of connects this makeshift gate door.
Well, it's not the best use for wood and carpentry, but it certainly gets the job done.
I'm going to actually go over and follow him. Just because.
Why don't you give me a
Does-
perception check as well as you make your way over there, Rurik?
I will do that.
I'll walk with Rurik.
What's going on? Does
Perhaps
wood
we
like
will just make our
old?
way over there, huh?
Yeah, I think it, honestly though, I think it might work if we try to electrocute him. You know, honestly.
I don't think
Rurik,
it will work at all, but I'm kind of intrigued by the idea.
Rurik, you kind of hear something as you're approaching, just kind of like a sniffing kind of sound, but large,
Okay, so I'm going
a
to
very large nose.
turn around to everybody and go up, and then point to Selvin and go,
This is hard to see because I can't see your camera right now based on my Zoom call.
Who's this?
lips together.
I don't have lips.
Don't use them. Don't use them.
Someone. This is.
That's
that
not
someone?
a small someone.
It's someone crying though,
Big someone.
but he's sad. We can make him feel better.
Okay, so someone needs to go take a look, yes?
I'll go look.
Okay,
How about
but do
I go and do it
quietly,
stealthily?
huh?
Let me
I'll
let me
quiet, I'll
stealthily
quiet.
approach.
Okay, you go ahead.
Thank you.
All right, Nilmerg, give me a stealth check as you approach. Okay, so you approach the palisade. You're kind of pressing your kind of eyes. It's not well crafted or anything. You could definitely there's gaps there that you could peek through. And on the other side, you see what appears to be a stone giant, kind of slumped down on his back kind of against the gate. Knees, he's got his hands kind of in his face, and he's just kind of sobbing there. There's a fire that is going, so he's kind of got himself warmed by the fire a bit, just sobbing there. You get the sense he's maybe on the more youthful side of a stone giant life cycle, like the equivalent of being like a young or a late adolescent, maybe.
Okay, then I'm gonna sneak back over to the middle of the team and let everybody know that we have an emotionally disturbed stone giant on the other side of these little pillars.
Holy shit, I thought you were making up the part of the crying.
I specialized in emotionally disturbed.
Well, I guess you talk to him then.
I still don't hear it. I don't hear this crying you're talking about, guys. I'm sorry. I just don't.
I could play him a little song, cheer him up, you know?
It'd be nice.
Go for it.
Just
I
be
guess
nice to them.
I guess I approach the gate or an
Yeah.
opening.
Okay.
Do you think we should knock first?
I think no.
But it's the most courteous thing
I've
to-
done this before. Surprise works best when someone's crying. It helps, you know.
But the last. Okay,
It should be fine.
I'll just look this way, so therefore I didn't see it happen.
I'm not sure why, but I trust him.
Yeah, I've done this before. So, would I be able to kind of? Is there an opening, or could I just kind of hop over?
Well, it's 15 feet high, so if you want to climb, you could do some kind of a check to see if you can climb over the wall. The other thing is you could potentially move the gate, but right now it's hooked shut by a strap of leather that's up about maybe 10 feet or so. So you'd have to find a way to like get up there and cut that or untie that knot in order to loosen the gate.
I guess I'll just call out then from here at the moment.
Okay.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Oh, you can pull yourself together. Yeah, does anybody speak giant here?
No, not a bit.
No.
So you just hear violent gestures.
Breakthrough.
Oh, this seems to be working very well.
Yeah,
Yes.
so far so good.
I will give you some bardic inspiration for your checks, huh?
I hear something's got you down, dude.
And it continues to speak to you in just kind of guttural giant. Just and he goes and he grabs like a boulder and like he like drops it like not on top of you but like pretty close like right on the other side of the palisade like maybe 5 feet from you.
He's giving me a way of getting up. Can I climb on that boulder and kind of peek over?
Sure. Give me just a strength athletics check like DC 8.
Athletics. Double click.
Oh no!
So you go to try to climb up, and then like you kind of like tumble back. You got so used to that climbing gear, and then you weren't using it. So
I used it all.
you kind of fall backwards,
sweaty
and
still.
he's just staring like straight down at you. You go, and he's just pointing away.
I think he wants you to go that direction, which I assume is off the cliff.
Do you, the big person, do you speak common? Do you understand us?
He's just like staring at you, and he continues in giant, shouting at you.
Okay, well, that's a pretty good indicator then, no?
No, I can't do
Maybe
much else.
he needs a loving hug. I've been told I'm very good at giving hugs.
Really?
No, I think that's a bad idea, but if you want to try it, I will let you.
Trust me, I've been told I have a very warming face, whatever that means.
Is your god?
An electrifying personality, huh?
No, more like I think
I get it.
mean, it's more of a fiery personality because Pelor, love that person with all my heart, serve him every
But
day.
he's also cold.
Yeah.
So what are you doing, Selvin?
I'm gonna climb on the rock and just say, "Whoa, whoa," and I'll do like a little come here, and at the same time I'll do, what's the thing that lets me get persuasion bonuses? Emissary
Okay.
of Peace. There it is. I'll
Okay.
pop that off, and like, come here, big guy. It's okay. I know heartbreak is bad and stuff. And I'll try and sound guttural too. I'll just go into draconic because that's the closest thing to giant that I can think of. It's like, it's okay, buddy. We all go through it one time or another.
make the persuasion check, but at disadvantage, since you're
Okay.
using just your gestures and no language.
That's okay. I have a very suspicion flashback to what happened here before. It's okay, big guy.
Does your ability give you advantage though?
Nope, just +5.
+5, okay.
So you have a 19 on the check.
No, 14. I already put the +5 there.
Oh, okay. And he's just looking at you kind of strangely, and he reaches over the palisade and like pokes you and pushes you off the boulder, and you fall back, and so you're lying prone on your back right next to Jarl.
I look over and go,
See?
anyone else want to try?
I'm gonna start a
We're making-
performance to really like draw attention to that and make it look like that was really funny. I want to
Okay.
get the giant to laugh at it.
Okay,
You see?
give me a
didn't-
performance check.
He didn't drop a boulder.
Oh
on me.
no!
That's
He
gonna
didn't-
go well.
You can see the
Nice.
giant goes back to the well and goes and grabs like another boulder, and he picks that up and he's gonna try to throw it at Scenario.
Oh my goodness.
This time he's had enough. He's actually gonna try to hit you, but 27.
Jeez.
That's gonna hit. I can't do anything about
Maybe.
that.
The scenario where he is on the map or no?
Uh, yeah, maybe. I think it would have been fine to do the performance there. So it's 23 points of damage, and then
Oh my god!
a,
Everyone is a critic.
strength saving throw, and you fall prone also. So we got three of the party members are down prone.
Oh god.
The little chewinga makes its way up your shoulder, Rurik, and bops you on the nose. And suddenly you hear in perfect clarity everything that the giant is saying. And he's just saying, I'm just about to bury my father, and you little folk come here and make a mockery of everything and climbing up on my palisade. Oh my god.
So I'm just trusting that this is going to work, and I bop the chewinga back on the nose gently and with affection and say, giant dude, I'm really sorry that we couldn't make ourselves understood before. Can you understand me now?
Yeah, I understand you. You don't speak giant, huh? I thought you were all making fun of me before.
No, we were actually really worried about you because the first thing we heard was the sound of your sorrow.
You can see he's still kind of agitated. He's got another boulder, but he's like, make a persuasion check.
Oh God.
And you could have advantage. I think you threw a little something there about the sympathy, so he'll give you advantage.
Okay.
So he puts the boulder down, and he says, okay, I'm sorry, I'm all emotional right now. We're just about to bury my father. I'm sorry. And he kind of reaches over the palisade to kind of help some of the nearby party members.
Is it okay to get up
Sullivan
now,
and-
or is it going to be a problem? I don't want
I
to get hit
don't-
again.
What's
That
going on?
hurts.
He's reaching over.
Trust him. He's just going to pick you up. Gently.
Oh yes, that sounds safe. Okay.
Okay. So, can I explain to them what's happening and why you're sad? They really were worried. Okay, I just told them you guys were worried because he was sad, and he's sad because his father died.
Oh shit, we misread that. I thought it was about the girl.
I was what I
I-
thought, but the hug still stands.
I called him Buddy.
Yes. So, I'm going to explain to the giant that all of us were really concerned that, and I don't say this out loud for whatever reason, the entire party was really wanting to try and find some way to get over the palisade just so that they could comfort him and to see what they could do to help him with his sadness.
And he's looking at Selvin.
That's why we're here.
He goes and he lifts the little strap of leather off of the palisade and he moves aside the gate. And he
So Sel-
stretches his arms out.
Come here, big guy.
He's hugging you.
That's
Ugh.
with the
I
wingspan.
probably just hug like his forearm
Yeah.
or something. I don't know how.
He
it
lifts you
works.
up, your feet are dangling.
Oh,
Oh,
so this is what it's like.
Jarl will
feels
come on
so
the
good.
yeah, he'll be that
needed
third
that.
person on the outside
It's
that
okay.
really
It's okay, and I'll start tearing up for him.
This is
It's
not how I
alright.
thought it was going to
Jarl
go,
will be
but
that-
I
yeah.
like it. It's good.
Jarl will be the third person that really wasn't invited in the hug, but he'll just show up anyway. Just kind of hug, try
Grab
to put his
a-
arm up and try to
grab a
look back
knee.
at each other and go like smile and like nod.
So Rick is just like kicking dirt with over here because there is no way.
Come on,
Everyone
Rorik.
is so happy. It's
Come on,
great.
come
Come
on, come
on.
here,
Good.
come
Rorik,
on,
come on.
come on.
Come on,
I'm
get in
standing here
there.
by
Here.
Rorik, just shaking my head, going, "Nope, not doing it."
Come here.
Come
Jarl's gonna
on.
do an invisible
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll
I'll
lasso.
do it. I am
Miles
He's gonna do
Scenario
an
will do it.
invisible lasso,
Scenario
throw
is
it over, try to catch
Come
you,
on.
pull you in into the hug.
Did you pull us into the hug?
I'm trying my best. I'm doing that invisible lasso. It's pretty strong. It's it's coming back. Come on, come here, come here.
I'm gonna like put my hands out and go. Oh,
Stop
wait.
it, Rorik. You are trying not to smile. I see it.
I'm actually gonna go ahead and get closer to the giant and pat the giant and say strange human whatever ritual here.
It feels good though. I didn't think I'd like it, but I do. It's making everything better.
Yeah, but it's a little
It's
embarrassing.
pretty good.
Okay, so
So they call you Rurik? Did you say your name is Rurik?
my name is Rurik, and like you, I have an affinity for the mountains and the stones around them. I'm very sorry that you've lost your father. Do you want to talk about it at all?
Well, we lost him about 2 days ago. He's getting ready now to go to the dream world. My family is attending to him now, just inside. Yeah, I don't know much about what happened. Just that him and my older brother, they were attacked by things on the other side of the mountain.
By thieves on the other side of the mountain?
Things. I don't know what. Sounds like strange sorcery. I didn't understand the story my brother told.
Well, it might be that we could help your family figure out, learn what the things are, and perhaps do something to. I don't know that we can avenge your father's death. We didn't know him, and so our assistance would be more in the line of just helping a newfound friend.
Why have you come here?
Well, we have been seeking for quite some time to figure out the puzzle of the crimson light in the sky. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have seen it. But
And-
I don't know much about such things. My sister, she is more the kind to interpret these omens and understand them. My father has seen many things like that in the past before he died, and he would interpret them and share them with our family, and they would try to make sense of what these omens are. I fear I'm not going to be able to learn those lessons now that he is gone.
Well, your sister is still alive. Did she learn from him?
Yes, perhaps their family traditions will still live on through my brothers and sisters, and I am still lucky my grandparents are still alive and my mother as well. But
And I'm sure that they'll teach you. I know it won't be the same. It's very difficult to lose your father.
you folk, I don't think you're invaders. You seem like you want to help.
We do.
Maybe you could come inside and talk to my brother, Frothar. He's the one that is currently taking care of my father inside right now.
Okay. Is it even appropriate to disturb him in such a task?
Hmm. Well, he is quite busy right now, but maybe he'd be willing to talk with you, especially if you wish to help our family.
I would like to talk with your brother if it's not going to disrupt him in his duties. Um, let me explain to my companions. Um, it might. Well, let me explain to my companions, and then we'll go ahead and go and meet your brother.
Okay. I will go inside and let them know that you are here.
Okay.
So he turns around and he heads into the cavern away from you, leaving you alone.
Okay, and I go, oh my God. Okay, look, here's the big deal. His father's just died. He's upset, he's sad, he's young, he's got an entire family out there. His father died of being attacked by things, and they may be able to help us with both some information about the Crimson Sun.
I think that we could use this as a pathway. Would they allow our people to use it to pass through?
Well, here's the thing. If there are things on the other side that are killing giants, it might be a good idea to partner with the giants to figure out what the things are instead of trying to really, upset the giants and upset things. Me personally, I think it's a chance.
So you think that perhaps if we were to assist the giants, and then they would maybe let us use the passageway again?
Yes, and right now I'm able to speak giant. I don't know how long this is going to last. I'm very grateful that I can, but I think we need to make the best of this, and that means everybody has to be chivalrous, kind,
Chivalrous.
correct.
Okay.
Can we do that?
There's
Yeah.
what clean, thrifty, reverent. What are the other ones? I don't remember.
No, we're not doing all of the virtues, but we're
Okay, good. All right, good. It's hard to remember the virtues.
Yeah, well-
Vices I know. Vices I'm good on.
I'll just follow your lead.
okay. So it's been a while since I've put on this persona, so and if I hold up a finger, that just means stop whatever the hell you're doing, okay?
Scenario will not say a word.
Finger. Got it.
Maybe a word or two.
I say a lot
So,
of words when I'm nervous, but it's all right. In the scenario, I'm just gonna pat. I'll give you 10 hit points.
Scenario
just a little bit bad.
Selvin, you both have been to the Isle of Dread and are carrying some amount of gemstones yourself. Some other Chwingas pop out, by the bequest of the original one. And you've got this kind of menagerie of Chwingas all over who are booping you all on the noses and giving you comprehend languages, such that you'll be able to
Oh my
understand the
goodness.
giants here now.
I just sold two of your. Oh no! I just
They
sold
just-
two of your relatives. Ah,
I don't think they stay anywhere that they don't want to be. So I think you're safe. Whatever
Well,
you
I
probably
will keep these pearls forever.
I'll keep this topaz then. Okay.
yeah.
So, sounds like you're interested in moving into the cavern.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So the first stop that you will see is where you see the tokens on your map there. In here, there is an expansive cavern. It's well lit. They have torches that are held up out of divots in the wall every so often. And as you enter into this chamber, you can see that the walls here are entirely covered with carved runes, spiral designs, and pictograms of odd shapes and symbols. Though it's sort of a strange sight for you, it is clear that this has been done with absolute skill and talent. There are two other stone giants here, accompanying the original stone giant that you have met. One is over by an altar of sorts, with two stone braziers that are lit on either side of the body of this elderly, no, not elderly, but adult, the deceased, the father stone giant. And you can see his body, his bluish gray skin, is completely ringed with very fresh tattoos that have been marked up on his body. And the tattoo artist is a male stone giant standing over him with what looks like a large animal tooth. And there's a little animal skull that has some bluish black pigment in it. And he's currently creating another one of these tattoos into the flesh of the deceased. To the south here, you can see a female stone giant who has in her hands a hammer and a chisel, and she is currently working on a monument out of a big piece of granite that stands maybe 15 feet tall or so, and it looks like she is on the early side of chiseling some kind of a monument in the likeness or visage of the patriarch who is deceased on the altar. And as you are entering in, you can hear the original stone giant that you talked to saying, Frothar, we have visitors. Small folk have come from the lowlands and say that they may be able to help us. Oh, and he turns around and sees you, Rurik, coming in, and he says, here's one of them now.
So I give my best bow and say, I'm sorry for your loss. We heard your brother grieving, and we stopped to ask if there was anything that we could do.
Well, I don't think there's a whole lot you can do. My father's been taken from us now. All we can do is prepare him for the final rites and make sure that his spirit passes on now to the spirit realm.
Your brother mentioned that he was killed by things that he did not know.
I was with my father when this happened. We were out on the other side of the mountains doing as we do. We were in our dream stance, vision, or walk through the vision, or the dream walk. And while we were doing so, we saw in the valley dozens of glowing lights. We thought maybe we'd seen or found another group of dream walkers. Normally we don't see other entities or other dream walkers when we are out there. But we did. We saw dozens upon dozens of these silver-skinned, metallic, beautiful humanoids about your size. And we approached in hopes that we could commune with them. But they spoke a strange musical language that we couldn't understand. And though we tried to communicate, felt that we were failing in our ability to reach them. When suddenly, we were set upon by a strange metallic altar. It had almost like needle-like protrusions sticking out of it. It hovered 60 feet in the air above us. And suddenly I noticed we both were marked by its light. Red light. And for a moment we both looked at each other in confusion when, out of the sky, we were rained down upon fire and destruction. I myself managed to survive, but my father, as you can see, he didn't fare so well. We were able to escape. I was able to pull him back here, back through the tunnel. But it was too late. I failed. I was not able to save my father from the sky fire.
It sounds terrifying, and it sounds like a threat that none should know how to deal with. You cannot blame yourself for not knowing how to face a threat so unknown.
Jarl would bow and say, "I'm sorry for your loss."
I appreciate that, little one. But it is over. It has happened, and now all we can do is prepare for the next step.
Now,
Scenario. Are you proficient in insight?
yes.
Go ahead and make a insight check. Uh, 14. You're not sure. There's something strange about how he's telling the story. It seems like he kind of skips over what happened with the fire rather quickly. Could be guilt. It could be sorrow, but it seems like he doesn't want to tell you too much about that story beyond the bullet points.
You know, we have come here for a reason. We have been tasked with finding a passage through this mountain to the lands on the other side. And if perhaps we could reach an accord where your people would allow our people to pass through, we could investigate this for you. But I fear that we may need more information about what you faced before we are able to really assist you.
I'm
Ha-
not sure that well, that request is not one that I can grant you, and if I could, I would not. It is far too dangerous, and we have blocked the tunnel from here to the other side of the valley to ensure that those things do not come. My father long revered the immortal Ka the Preserver, and we always said that we felt it was our duty to protect the small folk from the horrors that exist out there in the valley of the Barrier Peaks. And
I have heard of this Ka the Preserver. Rurik, did you not go to the tunnels of Ka the Preserver?
Yes, we did in fact go through the tunnels of Ka the Preserver in our quest to find out more information about the Crimson Light. And we learned a great deal more about the Preserver in that incident. And in fact, the map that we gained from him has helped us to even find this place.
well,
So,
Ka the Preserver, of course, is protector of the Hollow World inside
Yes.
ours, but there are need of protectors here in the surface world. And we stone giants have been that for some time in a more limited capacity. But the reason I cannot give you permission to pass to the other side is because my father's spirit has not passed yet. He is still the patriarch of this clan and of this family, and until he passes on, it is still his authority to make this request. Perhaps you would like to stay for the funeral rites this evening, and if you are blessed, maybe he will speak to you and be able to give you the permission you seek.
that is a very generous honor to offer at this time. We will be, I'm humbled by it, and will, of course, be willing to do so. If there's anything that we should do or, in fact, not do to disturb, let us know.
Well, thank you. I will continue my work here. I must continue to inscribe these tattoos on my father, the instructions for the afterlife. But you are free. I can tell you are friends, so feel free to make yourselves at home in our dwelling. Maybe there are tasks or things that my other family members need that you could assist with before tonight.
Cinerio Volpes would love to sing a song in your father's honor for the funeral rite.
and he says, "That would be very appropriate. Tonight we will have a feast and a dinner. Oftentimes, in our culture, we eat the foods that our loved one enjoyed in life, and we share stories and eulogies and remembrances of them. So, thank you. That would be kind."
Perhaps your brother can tell me more of his exploits so that I may prepare something of proper weight.
You look back at Frumak, the original stone giant that you were talking with, and he looks pretty eager actually as you invite him to share a story of his father, and he says, "Oh, mm, well, I remember a lesson that my father taught me was to always expect the most of yourself, to hold yourself to a higher standard. He'd always ask me to polish his tools and his spearheads, and every time I would complete this task when I was a young boy, he would look at me and he would say, 'Frumak, is this the best you can do?' And of course, I thought it was judgment on how well I did, so I go back and I polish and work more. And again, I bring it to him, and he says, 'Frumak, is this the best you can do?' I did this over and over for a year. I always thought he was disappointed in me, until one day I realized he will always ask me this question to have me look inside myself and continually improve and never be satisfied with my work. Always constantly
Whoa, thanks for the
improve."
jams, man!
And hey, thank you for the cheer.
Um, while this is happening, I would like to do a history check of the walls using the stone cunning.
Sure. Go ahead and do a history check.
Whoa,
I'll
thanks
give
for the
you
jams, man!
advantage on that. Hey, pay the toll. Thank you for the cheer.
And since that's a dwarven trait, I get double proficiency bonus to the check as well as the advantage.
Oh, yep. Go for that.
Okay. So here we go. Really? And so that
And you'd
would-
have a additional bit on your 19, I think, total. So
Yep.
you're looking at these runes, and I think comprehend languages doesn't help you too much with the written language, right? I think it's just spoken, but you're picking out some trends when you're looking at the chiseling of the, particularly the pictographs. So maybe the raw language isn't, the true meaning isn't fully apparent, but you're picking up on some things. One, it seems that at some point in the past, something was chiseled into the wall about some kind of object in the sky, kind of raining down on the earth, almost like a meteor, it would look like from the pictograph that is chiseled there. And that is not a recent marking on the wall with your stone cunning. You can tell that this was some time ago. But now you're also noticing recent carvings on the kind of ledger of history. And more recently, you can see kind of an emblem of a star in the sky, and sort of a pictograph, kind of the Grim Reaper is right next to that with the scythe, and lots of imagery of little carvings of deceased or dead, both giant-sized and small folk.
I'm noting all of this and beginning to wonder even more about this blocking of the tunnel and how many people might have been killed and how long this has been going on. So I decide to bypass both of the brothers and see if I can go and talk to the sister.
And the sister is hard at work chiseling her statue, and she says, "I see that you've been observing my work on the wall."
Yes, you have a very fine skill with the implements that you are using, the chisel.
Well, you flatter me, dwarf. But you have a keen eye for such things, so that is a high compliment coming from you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I do appreciate fine work. In addition to working as my family has always done with raw stone, I also work with gemstones. And I am wondering if you would care to take a look at some of those and if you also value them.
Well, I would be happy to, but I am a little busy at the moment with this. I need to get this completed so that it can stand as the marker of my father's tomb.
So one of the reasons I wanted to ask you this was just to know whether such a gift might be, or such a remembrance might be, an appropriate one to offer at this time.
These objects are not things that my father treasured in life. Material possessions are not our way. However, if perhaps you perhaps you could carve something yourself, a memorial or something of my father.
I would be glad to do that. I would want to know more about clearly the story that is on this wall. Is this all about your father? And what can I do to add to it?
The story on the wall is about history. Not necessarily our history, but the history of these realms. The history of my father is chiseled into each of our family members' hearts in his stories, his wisdom that he shared with us over the years, and his teachings. To me, my father was very gentle. The lesson that I remember from my most earliest time with my father was that he always taught us to treat things smaller than us with great care. That we had to protect those things that needed protecting, those things that were vulnerable. I was a very cantankerous child when I was an infant. When I was a toddler, I found a young mountain goat and tortured it, teased it, playing all sorts of abusive games with it that I didn't understand as a kid. I tossed it down the mountainside and it fell and it broke its back leg. My father scolded me for my cruelty. And as that goat cried and cried, we were set on upon by several bullets that jumped out of the earth and would have devoured me had my father not been there. Luckily, he offered his protection and was able to fend them off. But he punished me nonetheless, even as I stood there, crying and shaking. I was to nurse that little goat back to health. I never forget that lesson of my father. He forced me to remember the consequences of cruelty.
Then this seems like a fitting story to carve if you yourself are not already carving it. And I would be honored to record this for his sake. So I get out my chisel and all of my jeweler's implements, which will help me with this, as well as my stoneworking tools, which I also have, and set about that work of drawing a pictograph of that entire series of events.
Sounds good. So this will take you some time to start working on this, but that'll be the activity that you're kind of engaged in. How about the rest of you? I want to check in with some of the other characters. Jarl, what would you like to be doing at this time?
I think Jarl might be kind of looking over maybe just what the tattoos that he's saying that they're kind of going, and he'd be kind of curious. He said, and he would kind of look over. And he'd first go over and bow and say, "I am sorry for your loss." And then he'd go and he'd ask, "So what exactly? I know you mentioned they mentioned something about these tattoos. What exactly, are you tattooing?"
These tattoos, they serve many purposes. Each one has a unique purpose. Some of them are to safeguard this body, which will be interned in the earth. There are very strange things that happen in the subterranean depths. Fungi, which can take over the body. There are things that would reanimate the dead. These wards prevent all of that. And some of them are instructions for Ka the Preserver to ferry my father's spirit to the afterlife. And Winston, is this? This is just whatever it is. We're gonna start.
It is what it is.
Lost Laboratory will probably pick up next section, but this was just something I put together.
Jarl would just he'd kind of say, from what I hear, he seemed like he was a great person, a great, father, and it I'm sure it's difficult, but it seems that you've handled yourself well enough. Now the person that the one that's doing the tattoos, that was another one of the family members.
Yeah, you're getting the sense from the conversation that has transpired.
Whoa! Thanks for the jams, man.
Okay. And I'd say now, do you like? I know it seems kind of foul to harp on what happened to your father, but do you feel something could be done maybe to help in the future from these maybe whatever attacked dude, possibly?
Well, what I saw defied anything that I'd ever seen before in terms of raw destruction. This wasn't some kind of strange magical artifact that attacked us. Are you proficient, Jarl, in insight as well?
Yeah.
Go ahead and make an insight check.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm looking at the tattoos. Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
He tells you, I think the lesson from my father's death is that we must contain what is out there on the other side of the barrier peaks. It is not a thing to be confronted. It is something to keep sealed away and away from others.
Totally, dude. Totally. I would just kind of take
because
a step back and kind of...
we got the wandering monster has happened.
Wait, what?
Oh no.
Did
Yeah,
it
Winston-
have, did it have?
Yeah, Winston bought the wandering monster,
Okay.
Dude.
Sure.
and
Damn you, Winston.
this is one of those rare scenarios
back-to-back
where
nights.
I'm not ready for the wandering monster. So,
I'm partly
Lord.
responsible for that.
He did it. He did it last night too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of us
I
chipped in
remember.
to get him
I was
stuff.
I was part of it, trying to hope for it. It feels a little different when it's on the other end, though.
Yeah, I gave him 2,000 XP for it.
I gave him like 5,000, I think. We all
Okay.
boosted him just to get enough.
I'm not sure if this is. So I rolled it randomly from the wandering monster random encounter chart, and so I'm not sure if this will be disappointing to the chat or not,
Hungry
because it's
rat.
actually
Zorn?
it's actually
gonna
not
be
a
the hungry
wandering
rat.
monster. It's not a wandering monster. It is an event, but we can make it fit with the story that we're telling right now. Suddenly, you feel kind of a tremor happening. The whole cave complex, the sconces, one of the lanterns actually falls out as a big crack kind of forms in the wall, and rock and debris is falling from the ceiling. I need each of you to make a dexterity saving throw.
If you're near me, you get a +2 bonus. I assume no one's near me because we're all doing separate
I'm
things.
actually right next to you.
Yeah, but we haven't got our turn to do stuff, so I don't know where everyone is.
Yeah, the three of us are still standing next to each other because we haven't
Sure.
done anything. We've been
Let's go
standing
with
hand to
that.
back.
I assume
you said get
Jarl's
advantage?
probably up by the altar talking, but that's fine if the other three of you have the advantage. Looks like everybody that I see, I've got Scenario, Rurik, Selvin, Jarl. Am I missing someone?
Oh my goodness! It wasn't even
Oh.
an advantage.
Oh,
It was double
boy.
ones.
Happened.
So, everyone except Neilmerg are going to
My
take.
rolls have been atrocious tonight.
I feel for you.
Everyone except Neilmerg takes 7 points of bludgeoning damage. The rest of you, or Neilmerg, you'll take 14 points of bludgeoning damage. You'll have to add that into your wound box yourselves. And Neilmerg, you end up getting pinned under one of these boulders that falls down. The stone giants kind of weather that. You know, they put their hands up and kind of they take the damage or whatever themselves, but they're not knocked prone. But Neilmerg, Frumak comes over here and helps you up after that wave of destruction happens. And as he pulls you up, he says, "Oh, maybe those things that my brother spoke of are attacking us right now. Maybe that is what caused this tremor."
It's possible, though. He sounded like they use fire and lights and things, and not so much the tremors. But we could take a look if you would need us to.
Where would they be attacking you from?
They would be attacking us maybe from the passageway that we have blocked off. It would take a full day's journey even for us stone giants to unblock it. Let us hope that our defenses can hold up while we complete the funeral rites this evening. And we can see what my father says to your request.
Can you take me to the passage just so we can examine it?
Sure. Frumak agrees to do that. And I'm just gonna use the Frumak token to kind of guide you to where he's leading you. And he takes you to this next area. I'm gonna just make sure that they're not hostile so our audience doesn't get the wrong idea of what's going on here.
Ambush.
So you enter into this next chamber,
We
which
are not
appears to
prepared
be
to fight 5 stone giants.
yeah. They got hit by a boulder from one, and it hurt enough.
That hurt a lot.
Yeah. So you, Neilmerg, you go and you are led into what appears to be some kind of a bed chamber or quarters for some of the giants. And you can see there are 4 beds here that are basically mounds of like different furs and bear hides and such that are arranged around the cave. Giant-sized spears, clubs, clothing, and bowls containing water and dried fungi are present. And you can see that there are 2 elderly stone giants here, a male and a female. The male is sitting down, kind of cross-legged, and he is polishing an obsidian-tipped spear, while the elderly female giant seems to be mending some clothes with a bit of like a bone needle and some kind of large thread upon some garments. And the 2 are speaking at each other. And the father is saying, "Mother, did you catch the story of his passing?" And she says, "I think that he should wear his ceremonial sash, but it's got a hole in it, Father." And he says, "I didn't catch how he died. Do you think we're safe? Did you feel that tremor? Oh, and did you see his body? It looked like he was burned." And she's talking in a disjointed... They're not in the same conversation, these 2, as she's saying, it was, I'm just not sure that this clothing goes with the sash that he's going to be wearing. It's just kind of a clash of rustic and regal, don't you think, Father? And he says, "If I was 200 years younger, he'd have been safe. I would have been out there. I would have protected my boy." And yeah, you can just tell they're talking, but neither of them can hear what the other is saying.
They're having a conversation, but 2 separate conversations.
And Frumak this is normal to him, so he ignores that and just kind of bypasses it and moves on over here and points you to this passageway, which is about 20 feet wide, 20 feet high, and it is just piled up with enormous boulders that would be nearly impossible for you all to move by yourselves without some great deal of engineering.
So, Frumac, everything seems to be, all piled up. Does anything seem to be out of place from the last time you saw this?
And he goes over to check it out, and he says, "No, there's like maybe a couple of boulders that kind of like slid off that just weren't tucked in quite right, but for the most part, they've done due diligence to block off this passageway for fear of what might come through."
And so this is the way out to the other side?
And he says, "Yes, this would take you to the valley on the other side of the barrier peaks."
Well, perhaps later tonight we will get the opportunity to speak with your father before he leaves this world.
I hope so. Anything
Is
else
there
that you...
anything I can do for you?
He says, well, there is one thing. Tonight, after dinner, we are going to celebrate by playing one of my father's favorite games, a game we call Boulder Dash. I'm sure that you saw my setup outside, the stone statues and such.
Yes, we saw them.
Well, I know that it would warm my father's heart to know that small folk would participate in this game. I can teach you the rules after dinner, if you would like.
I would be honored, and I'm sure the rest of my party would be as well.
And he's going to start to explain all of that to you. I want to fit one more. I haven't gotten much out of Selvin. I want to know, Selvin, what would you like to do?
Two things. I would think back to all of my witches studies back at the Temple of Pelor and seeing that the sky seems to be his domain. Have I ever heard of him spiting someone so bad that he rained fire from the heavens?
Has
Or any
Selvin?
Like, sure. Has Selvin ever heard something like that?
Not like a first-hand account kind of thing. Like you probably read, stories about other epic heroes or, the Immortals. The Immortals are folk like you that did incredible things that ascended to godhood, essentially. So there's all sorts of stories about these wild things that people have done, but nothing that's like identifying this particular thing that they're talking about and what that might be.
And I'd probably go up to Frothard, who is preparing the body. I know it's not my place in this at all, but at the temple, I've been, how do I say it? Practice in the art of funeral rites, and I have a spell prepared that may help and assist you in this. If you'd like my assistance, I'll be more than happy to help.
He says, "You may know these things, but you don't know our culture. And you could make a religion check here to see if you can prove him wrong, that you know something about Stone Giant funeral rites." And we just had a gifted sub. Thank you. Winston just gifted a sub to the Potato Lion. Yes.
Nice.
Natural 20. Okay.
Thanks for the woo. And you got a natural 20. So he says that, and you're like, actually. And
no, don't actually him.
He's quite impressed with your knowledge of how to prepare the body and their process. So he says, if you would like to speak some words tonight, right before, actually that part of the process of what they're going to do, the last thing that they're going to do before they intern him in his final resting place is everyone is going to meet him once more in the dream world by inhaling some of their what basically amount to kind of smelling salts which will bring them into the dream world, and you will be asked to do that as well, which is when you will be able to make your request. So he says that he would be honored if you maybe would say some words about his father prior to that ceremony taking place.
I'd be more than honored to. And just for my notes, at least I'm pretty sure I have it written here. What's his name again?
The father?
Yes.
The father's name is Ferdinand.
Ferdinand. Thank you. That is not what I wrote there. Cool.
All right. Let's see. Scenario was getting ready to write a song to be prepared for dinner. Is there anything more that you would like to be able to enable you to write that song?
I will ask the brother and the sister for other bits of story that they might know. Don't need to role play it so much, but I will work in as Scenario crafts the song. He will work those in.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, they'll share with you more tales of their father, fond remembrances, funny moments, and things like that. And let us move back to. So we're gonna move. Yeah, looking at the time, into the dinner. So we're gonna fast forward some hours have passed. One of their younger sisters. Frakita has prepared a large bounty of food, which you will find kind of just in the chamber right north of you, is where you will all take positions. Oh, I see it's not quite revealed. But you'll gather around a huge, bountiful table. All of the giant family, the oldest brother, the youngest brother, the two middle daughters, the wife of Ferdinand, and his parents are all present, and they are eating, and it's sort of a somber tone, but it's kind of like almost like an Irish kind of funeral. There's drink that is being passed around, and it's really a time to share fond remembrances, and in between their different tales and stories that they are sharing, they pause and look at you small folk every so often just to see if any of you might pipe in.
Absolutely. Yes, of course I will pipe in. This Scenario will always pipe in.
Selwyn's just sweating, figuring out what the hell he's going to say. It's like, yep. And just trying to listen to every possible story to get
Scenario
influence.
Always has a story that relates a little bit to what they're telling, but then is also about how wonderful Scenario is.
Girl would be kind of checking out the tankards of alcohol. How large are these tankards of alcohol?
They're giant sized, but
Yarl would almost be, yeah. He'd kind of be. He'd have his arm around it and just be like lapping it up, putting his hands in.
The daughter says, maybe I could get you a straw. And she goes and digs around and
it's fine, Dudette, no problem.
Or perhaps you could just climb on the way inside.
Hey, oh, you know what? Even better. Let's get him to jump in the alcohol now.
That actually sounds kind of fun. This perspective. This compared to Rurik?
Well, Selvin won't drink because he has not been struck by lightning again yet.
Oh.
I don't drink. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I made this bet with myself.
But if someone could strike him with lightning, he will drink with us.
Yeah.
No.
It's what
I guess I
said.
should have had Lightning Strike be the wandering monster. Lightning Elemental.
So.
Why do I feel all tingly all of a sudden? No.
Nobody has Lightning Strike, do they?
I do not know how to summon lightning.
If it's in Constellation, I know a thunder spell. It's like lightning, but not really. But then I'd have to pull the good old "why are you hitting yourself?" and I don't want to do that.
No, no.
You know, if you wanted to drink, you could just do it. You don't have to strike yourself with lightning first.
Yeah, but I like to keep my senses all intact because you never know what can come around every corner. I mean,
Yes.
I didn't expect to get struck by lightning from a dragon today. Then here we are.
So
Nomar runs his feet across the bare rugs and just sneaks behind Selvin and just taps him back of neck to get him with a jolt of static electricity. Minor lightning.
does
I
it
don't
work?
know if it counts, but
Does
I
it
like
count?
it.
I mean, I'm wearing plate mail. Will Selvin count it?
That's the question.
You know what? If he beat a DC 15 for persuasion, I'll do it. I'll be nice.
Probably won't work out well for me.
No!
Son of a-
It's with a -1.
I'm aware.
I feel like we were all trying to persuade him. I feel like that should have been that advantage.
I made the conscious decision not to intervene.
Fine.
So,
All right,
uh,
you win.
Salvin's gonna drink.
there's
I
some
honor
drink.
by,
Okay, there's
got it.
there's some drinking
By the-
Here you
happening.
go, dude. Here
by the
you go,
paladin,
dude.
by
You
the
can hold out his
paladin's
hand.
oath.
Here
I
you go.
promise I do it. So yeah, great.
It's good. Don't worry, I wash my hands.
So you're all enjoying some food and some drink. Does anybody want to make kind of a grand share tale? I think Rurik was trying to get in with.
Yeah, Rurik was definitely trying to get in there and you do some grandiose dwarven drinking, boasting funeral kind of thing. So I'm hoisting a mug with my beard inside of it, which is actually quite respectful, and toasting the wit, the courage, the wisdom of the patriarch, and assuring that he will be dancing on, what is it, dancing in the dream at night's end and watching us with fondness.
So I'll kind of give you like some leeway here on what type of check you think this should be. Probably some kind of a charisma check.
Yes, that is probably what it should be. Whether or not that would be the best is another thing. But yes, that is what it should be. So just basically a plain up charisma check.
Sure.
And I failed it miserably.
So Scenario will immediately see that this is going poorly and launch into the song that he has composed. And it's a song about the father both crafting and teaching his children, and there is a refrain that comes back to polishing the tools, and there are several verses that make it very obvious that polishing the tools is a sexual innuendo, but there's also several of them that it's not at all, which is a departure for Scenario. But I'm going to use my inspiration on this.
Oh shoot, I forgot I had that.
23.
Yep.
So you could see they're all enjoying it. They're all kind of confused at first as Rurik was like things weren't maybe translating quite right. They are very much like a storytelling. Maybe Rurik was just being a little too direct in this toast. But you come in and bring in some of the metaphors and bring that, and even the innuendos. You can see the little brother is kind of like, and they all are enjoying it. And there's kind of a wrapping on the table as you conclude that.
Especially several verses about young Frumak polishing his tools.
And yeah, he likes that. The mother, not so much, but she likes the rest of the song well enough that she's able to kind of forgive that piece. And so you feel in the warmth of this family, you kind of feel like there is that other entity. They have been talking about the spirit of the father being present, and you kind of feel that he is kind of standing over you, and you almost think that maybe you hear some words of encouragement or commendation over your song. And you gain a little boon for having performed this song. And you will gain a charm of heroism. So at some point, this will persist beyond this adventure, should you choose.
Okay.
But you can invoke this at any point, and it's basically the benefit of a potion of heroism. Once you
Okay.
use it, it is then gone.
Awesome.
So, anyone else like to make an attempt at a grand speech here, or a eulogy of sorts, or story?
I think after a few drinks, Jarl would kind of stand up on his stool, and he'd kind of, I hear a lot about your pops, and he seemed like a real grand guy. And, if I knew my pops, I wish he was more like your pops. And I really appreciate you bringing us in here, all of us. I feel the warmth of a family that I never, truly had. And it's, I just want to say thank you to all of you, and we know that his memory will live on, not through you, but not only through you, but through all of us, man, through all of us.
You also can attempt some type of a persuasion, charisma, performance check. However, you are performing this this story. I'll let you have some freedom there.
Okay.
Which one it is?
I really don't have any, so I'll just do a straight up. All right, here we go. We'll just do performance.
Nice.
Yeah.
Through all of us, Jarl's crying. It's just so happy. Love you all so much.
The DC was 20, but it's because it was impossible for you to achieve that. I will also give you, they appreciated that you made the effort. You also have the charm of heroism, so you
Jarl's
can just
a
jot
mess.
that down somewhere in
He's a mess.
your notes.
He's a mess now.
Scenario will, as Jarl sits back down on the stool that they're sharing, Scenario will
I'm
clap
happy
him
you
on
noticed.
the shoulder
I'm happy you noticed that.
and
Yeah.
say, Jarl, my friend, you have a family now. Scenario is your brother.
You are. I love you, man. And he's gonna kind of he's gonna give you a hug. I love you, man.
I love you too, my friend.
Oh. And he's gonna continue to drink and cry.
And the feast continues, but at some point, the eldest brother stands and he says, "It is time now for the time-honored tradition of Boulder Dash. Please follow me, everyone." And he will lead you outside to where you saw that that divot in the ground and those stone statues that were chiseled. I gotta kind of move. My map isn't so good for the folks watching, but I'll try to adjust this so you can see where they're heading. Outside the cavern, where this essentially bowling game has been laid out, and the giants all kind of gather round as the eldest brother, oops, didn't mean to close it, goes out there, and he takes a position towards the end of the lane in the dirt, and the youngest brother rolls out, or he whistles kind of at the mountains themselves, and pretty soon you can see this boulder kind of rolls down the mountainside and unfurls itself, and you see Galeb Dar, I think that's maybe how you pronounce it. He animates his big rock type of thing, creature, unveils itself, and he goes over to one of the boulders that's laying nearby, plenty of them, and he puts his finger down on one of them, and this small little boulder animates itself and is kind of a mini version, a tiny version of the Galeb door. I'm going to pop up the image just so you all know what this creature looks like.
Call the rocks, Pluto.
Yes. And so he's just animated a smaller version of himself, which he then rolls over to the base of the lane. And the eldest brother, for whatever reason I gave them, they all have F names. So, Frothar, thank you. Goes over and he picks up this spherical little creature that is now balled up, and he gives it a big swing down the lanes, and he hits the head pin, and they go spinning. But unfortunately, he's got the dreaded split.
The 710 is the worst.
710. And you can see he kind of like curses in giant under his breath. They reset and bring the ball back to him, and he gives it another shot. But this time he puts a little hook spin on it, and the Galeb door goes spinning down the lane, hooks and hits the side pin, which flies over and knocks into the other. And it would appear that he's done a good job, that he has scored well. And so this was something I had so much fun with. I hope Casey's still watching his
yes.
his fair games the other day. I was like, I want to throw a little fair mini game into one of my sessions. So the rules of this one are you all, much more difficult for you all to navigate the Galeb door, but you can still do so with potentially have some success. When you are up, you can roll that thing down there with either a strength athletics or a dexterity check. Would be an acrobatics check.
Does it appear to be a creature?
It is. It is a small version of the creature, and so
could I try to persuade it?
Yeah, there's going to be potential for when you're up to do some wackiness. Anything that's mundane is going to be fine. Anything that's magical might be frowned on if you're caught. You could do, though, a sleight of hand check to potentially do your signing or whatever discreetly and without them seeing. If they notice you, they'll be disqualified. But if you succeed, I'll give you some kind of advantage on whatever you invent here. You get 2 tries. First try determines how many pins you knock down on the first. There's a chance, depending on what you do, of a split. And then you'll have a second round where you can attempt whatever you need to knock whatever remaining pins down. Whoever wins the contest, well, you have to beat the big brother first of all. But if there's one in the party that is able to beat him, there might be a prize or a boon. So why don't we? I'm just going to hit initiative just to kind of randomize and determine how this is going to go. You don't have to play, but Jarl, it would be your chance first to make an attempt. Okay. Would you like to?
Sure. Yeah, Jarl will put his pail of ale, kind of set it aside, and go and attempt to go ahead and roll it. So what do I have to? I could do a dexterity. You said. You
could do dexterity. Try to spin it.
Okay, it would just, and you want us just to do like a dexterity save, or?
Actually, skill check. So if you've got proficiency in acrobatics, you could use that.
All right, we'll go ahead and do that. 24.
It's a strike.
Whoa! All right.
So nicely done. So strike, you got to tie that. If we've got multiple people that have strikes, then we'll have to have a runoff. So nicely done. Neilmerg, you would be up first. Would you like to make an attempt?
Yes, I will be going with an acrobatics as well.
And with
Oof.
a 10, unfortunately, it does that thing that, when you try to, the lane is a little too well oiled, it just drops off at the last second. You get nothing. So, but you get to do a second one.
Gutter
You
shit.
could still pick up the spare here.
You could do it, dude.
And you pick up the spare, so you are tied with, by the scoring of the game, you are tied with the eldest brother. So nicely done. Next up, we have Selvin.
I remember this game. This is called Grundi. Oh, it's been a few years. It's been a few years. I'm gonna crush down to my little rock buddy. All right. I know they're doing great, but you are the one. You are better than all these guys. I believe in you. And I'm gonna give him a little knuckle bump, and then I'll throw.
Sounds good. Just the same as Neilmerg. Maybe that fist bump was a little bit of an offensive kind of thing to the Gale Dur, and he just threw it at the last second. You're not sure, but no pins fall down. But it resets, comes tumbling down back towards you. You got a second shot.
All right. I know that first throw wasn't good, but you got this time. And I'll try and do it again.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
It hooks almost exactly the same, but this time at least you pick off one of the pins.
Where are you? I remember why I didn't pay Grundi back home. I was really bad at it. I'm just gonna go back to my speech.
Sounds good. Next up, we have Scenario.
All right, I'm going to walk up to the smaller Caleb door, and I'm going to give it a performance check, as I'm going to sing it a song. And oh no! Well, I'm going to do it anyway. And the song goes, bowling, 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 to the pins you're rolling. Keep that gob, Caleb, rolling, rawhide. And then I'm going to send it flying.
Even if he doesn't appreciate it, the DM does. So if you didn't have inspiration already, take a point of inspiration. And then go ahead and give it a go, either your athletics or your acrobatics.
Oh, that was going to be so good.
And he slides off. But it comes back. And 19 is respectable. With a 19, you knock 7 pins down. And we have one more left to go, and that would be Rurik, Master of Stone.
Just pressure. So I whisper in Dwarven into the ear of the Caleb Dur and promise that it will have the most gorgeous tattoo of its choosing if it can see its way clear, helping me have a good bowl. And let's see.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
You get the sense it kind of is startled that you are suggesting that you might chisel into his skin, and it starts to quake and and it's gonna make it actually a little bit difficult to roll this ball down the lane because it's quaking so much. But go ahead and give it a go.
Okay, and I am going to use dexterity instead of strength to do this. And
13. You managed to pick up a pin, one of the corner pins. You get another shot at this.
And do my level best to calm it down and explain that no. This isn't going to be like flaying, which is of course not going to work.
And with a 22, you manage to pick up that spare. But Jarl is clearly the king of Boulder Dash with the strike. And so everyone is, even, Frothar comes over and is kind of a begrudging like golf clap, but he can't help but accept that you bested him at their own game. And he says, well done. My father would be so proud to know that the little folk have mastered the skills and technique that we practice generation after generation. Very well done. You will have to take this game back to your people.
Definitely. It's been an honor. I appreciate it, dude. As Jarl's like taking off his like professional wrist wrap that he had already ready to bowl. So
for winning the gambit, you also, just like scenario earlier, feel the presence of the father spirit nearby, and you can tell, you kind of see kind of a almost spectral face of a stone giant nearby, kind of beaming with pride, and you will gain. This is a permanent boon that you will gain for this. So you might either want to type this in somewhere on your character sheet or just jot it down and just remember it. But
In the
you
notes
will have
tab, you can put a lot of this stuff in.
notes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first benefit is that you cannot be petrified. So they will protect you from the spirit of the father will protect you from those things that might petrify you. And then the other thing is that you will gain the ability to cast Meld into Stone as a bonus action.
Okay, awesome.
You can only use this once, and then not again until you have finished a long rest. Kind of a daily. So, with that, with the game of Boulder Dash having been completed, they are prepared and ready now to move into the final piece of the funeral rite, which is the farewell. Everyone once again regathers in the ceremonial chamber where the body was being prepared for this moment, and everyone, the whole family, kind of congregates. The Gale of Dur itself enters into the chamber as well, and he is given a bowl in which several plant-like substances and oils are kind of being mashed in. He has a mortar and pestle and is mashing these things together. And at some point, one of the other stone giants helps him in lighting this oil that with a bit of flint and steel, and they put kind of this cover kind of contraption on it to allow it to diffuse into the room. And the Gale of Dur then begins to bring it under the nostrils of each of the stone giants, who subsequently kind of a glazed over look in their eyes. Their pupils kind of roll back into the backs of their heads, and kind of maybe a slight aura of blue where the whites of their eyes should be. He then comes around and is going to offer it to you all. What would you like
know
to
what they
do?
say, win in Karamakos. I am going to do it.
So as you
Yes,
kind of
yeah.
bring in the scent and the odor, it kind of has kind of a minty or menthol kind of scent to it, kind of this
Oh, it
crispness. And
smells like college.
yes, you just kind of feel yourself kind of pass on out of the room. You're having an out-of-body experience as you're feeling you're drifting away, far away, and floating up towards the ceiling. As it's being passed around, is there anyone who is rejecting this? And so if not, then all of you are having a very similar experience. And I think I'm gonna call a 3-minute break just to get me set up here. This was something I kind of threw together last second here, so I just needed like a moment to get set up before we continue. But thanks everyone that's hanging out in the chat. We'll be like right back. It'll be literally just a moment or two.
Sounds good.
Hey everybody, we are back.
Oh, gee,
thanks
Willikers,
for-
man, this isn't good.
We have one of our players has some severe flooding going on, so hopefully he's taking care of that. And okay, he's back. Never mind. Yeah, we got some rain here in Wisconsin happening. So our heroes here have just passed through into the dream world of the giants, and it was first seemed like it was going to be a very pleasant experience as you're kind of accelerating up kind of into a heavenly kind of thing, but suddenly the skies turn kind of a purplish red, and you look down to kind of see motes of earth kind of pulling themselves up and they capture themselves underneath your feet. As you look about, you are kind of spread out from one another. Selvin, you're right in the middle. Right next to the elderly stone giant, the deceased, now standing, awake, and he's got that spear that Neilmerg would have seen being sharpened is in his hands, and he looks down at you, Selvin, and he places his large hand on your shoulder, and he says, "You wish to know what happened to me? Let us experience it together." And the rest of you are kind of witnessing that. You can hear that happening. And then all around you, suddenly, forms appear. On each of the outer pieces
Oh my
of
god, it's an
Earth-
interrogator droid.
Yes. The artifact. The artifact with the lights and the... I needed to come up with like tokens for all these things, so I was like, I don't know, that thing in that movie looks like how I picture this thing. So there it is. An orb with all sorts of contraptions and wiring and needles and protrusions sticking out of it. Lights, dozens upon dozens of lights blinking. But on the other moats, near Scenario and Rurik on the right-hand side of the map, and to the upper left, nearby Jarl and Nilmerg, you can see these humanoid-looking creatures that are composed of metal and very expressionless. To your eyes, they probably look like some kind of metal golem of some kind. But these animatronic beings kind of animate and look intent upon putting the hurt on you. So you're going to experience the thing that killed the stone giant as we roll initiative.
Oh,
And,
no.
Of course, the first thing that is up, I roll it automatically so you don't have to worry about it. The pacifier robot here, this orb of obsidian metal, you can see it goes to attack the stone giant, Frodinad. You can see this kind of piece of metal kind of swivels out on a hinge off of it and starts blasting at him. And the first attack hits him and deals 14 points of damage. Next up is Neilmerg, and you can see the stone giant kind of, it's just like a light of radiant light blasts out and hits him in the side, and he kind of stumbles back from the force and impact of that. But then, Neilmerg, it is your turn.
Alright, well, I guess since we kind of heard stories about these things, I'm going to start popping some shots off over here at the android that's over by me. By me and Jarl.
Sounds good. So the way that you could make an attack happen is on your character sheet on the Actions tab.
Yep, that's what I got up right now.
Where you have your the D20 where it says the +8, you could
Yes.
click and drag that and drop it on the token.
Okay.
The other way you can do it is to hold down Control and click on the token, and then it's targeted. And then if you just double click it, it applies the attack to it.
Nice.
That attack will hit.
All right.
So then you can do the same either method for damage. And 8 points of damage.
All right, I got 2 more shots still, so let's go.
And I think for you that's a critical, right?
Yes.
So right now it's not counting that as a critical hit. The program isn't, so you have to do it manually. The way you could do that is if you click and hold down on your damage dice, hold that left click button down, and then you can right click to add dice to that. And if you drop those on the token, then it should work out.
So on the damage, it's not doing anything else. You said hold the left click and then do a right click on it?
And so,
So-
click it so it picks
Yeah,
up
like
the
as you're
die.
bringing out the damage die.
If you click it once and hold it down, it'll pick the die up.
And it'll appear.
Okay.
Nice. So yes, 5 points of damage from that attack.
All right, one more.
And that one kind of swats away, and that one misses.
Okay. And thus ends my turn.
The stone giant is going to take a couple of swings at the robot here in the middle. First one hits, and the second one also. That one misses. Rurik, it is your turn.
So I take out my short sword and come over and attack this entity. Wow.
Metal's hard to hit.
That is hard to hit. Now is the time to find this out. And I'm going to go ahead then and use my bonus action to do an uncanny dodge.
Isn't uncanny dodge
Okay,
a
that's just a
reaction?
reaction.
It's a reaction. Okay.
Let's see if you get hit.
I'm able to figure out how to use this because never mind. I do it this way every time. I could go and disengage, but I don't want to.
Sounds good. Next up is Selvin.
I would have asked a quick question. Would we have had time for another short rest within this period or no?
Like during the meal or something.
You were kind of active during all that time, I think. I don't know if you had a
Alright.
proper like short rest.
All right, just wondering. Well, that wasn't mean. You shouldn't stab someone who's already dead. That's kind of overkill. Whack. Define whack. So there we go.
All right, that is a hit. And as you strike at it, you can sense there's kind of like this like neon green like light, almost like a shield spell that seems to like almost absorb some of that damage. But you can kind of see a crack in it as your damage or your weapon strikes with it. Seems to peel off like a layer, and now there's like a pink barrier in between you and it.
Gonna keep going. Poof. And for a bonus action, I will cast Shield of Faith upon myself.
All right. Next up, we have Scenario.
Right. Well, I am going to run around here and engage this thing as well with Rurik. And I will just attack it first with my rapier. And give it a good stab, and then I will use a bardic inspiration to my compatriot Rurik as well.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, the androids will take their turn. The first one over here on the ledge gives a running leap and jumps on to this ledge here and makes its way right behind you, Selvin. And it's just going to, in a flurry of punches, start to do some martial arts on you. First attack will miss with that Shield of Faith up. Second attack is also going to miss. Android 2 is the one over by Neilmerg and Jarl. Android will step up to where Neilmerg is and take a punch attack. A 13 will miss. Its second attack, a nat 1. And for the uninitiated, on a nat 1, on an attack roll, you roll a d6. On a 5 or a 6, something terrible happens. I rolled a 1, so it's just a miss. Android 3 is over by Rurik and Scenario. It's going to try to take a couple of swings at Rurik. First attack is going to be a miss. The second one, a 14, also a miss. So you're definitely dodging out of the way of these swings. And then it is Jarl's turn.
Jarl's going to kind of mention as he looks back and moves up to engage. It's like his technique is all wrong, and he says, "Watch!" And he's looking back at Neilmerg, and he goes, kind of turns and goes to try to like flick him, the android, kind of in the throat as he tries to punch. Oh, let's see, an arm.
That'll hit. 10 points of damage.
Then he follows it up for his bonus action with another strike.
That one just hits metal and doesn't quite land at a weak point.
Ouch! And he might shift if he can. He'll just shift over a little bit.
Sounds good.
That'll be it.
Back to the top, the pacifier robot is going to fly upwards. It's going to elevate itself upwards and out of your reach, Selvin. You could, if you would like, take an attack of opportunity.
Yes, please. Where do you think you're going, fiend?
And you manage to hit it.
And we'll do a little divine punishment. Because that is mean. I think I gave it to my... Is it? Yeah, all right, all good.
Boom, and you can see as that he puts up that shield again, you crack through it, and it just kind of shatters. The technology of this reminds you very similar to, I think you were in the battle with
The
what's his
Githyanki?
face? The what?
The Gith?
Not the Gith, but the Eye of the Deep back on the Isle of Dread. He was in the mechanical
That-
robot thing. It's like
That was not
similar.
me. I wasn't there for that.
Oh, you weren't there for that. Then never mind. It doesn't remind you of anything.
Scenario was there.
Scenario
I know.
sees it
I
then.
know.
So he moves up, and you see that these kind of tendrils or tentacles kind of fall down off of it, and it's whipping and lashing at the stone giant with them. Sorry, no, he doesn't do that. He doesn't have the reach to do that. He's up like 30 feet at this point, just for you, Selvin, so you know. But he's gonna shoot down with his blaster rifles again. So these arcs of light raining down almost like scorching rays on the stone giant. The first one is a miss. The second one is a miss, and another device kind of it's all these like mechanisms are kind of popping out, these attachments and things, and so yet another laser rifle battery comes out, trying to strike the giant. This one hits, and big concussive explosion, a fireball like kind of light as it strikes his body. You're kind of getting the sense of why the description was the way it was from the older stone giant brother. He didn't know what he was looking at, as he just called it torrent of fire from the sky. That's what you were seeing. Nilmerg, it is then your turn.
Right. Going after the same guy once again. Another crit.
Yes. That one also won't quite read, so you'll just have to do it manually, just like you did on the previous one. All right.
Attack number 2.
Another hit. Four points of damage.
And last one.
And another hit. So as these bolts are hitting into it, you're kind of seeing like sparks are flying off of it as these things are jutting into its metal frame.
Alright, that ends my turn, and I'll be back in a second though. We just had gunshots going off by the apartment, so.
Oh no! Yeah, stay safe. So the stone giant here with the spear is going to keep attacking the pacifier robot. First swing is a miss, and second swing also a miss. Rurik, it is your turn.
Okay, so I'm going to attack this again with the short sword, and I want to add my bardic inspiration to that.
You've hit.
You already hit.
Oh, did it hit? Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
well, not darn it, but darn it that I didn't notice.
Save it for the next one.
Save it for the next one, for sure. Everything is moving.
You have sneak attack. You get your ally
Scenario
within
moved
5
in,
feet.
so you'd have sneak attack.
Sneaky, stabby metal.
Scenario does not like to be in close proximity, but it does help you a lot, so he does it.
Definitely a lot. Hang on. I don't know why it's just behaving really, really jerky right here. Okay, better. And
Bring the pain.
well, here's hoping.
That's pretty
16
good.
points.
16 points of damage.
That one also has just a series of sparks and things like flying out as you scrape against its metal outer shell. Big kind of jagged cut of the metal from your blade. Anything else, Rurik?
No. Nope.
All right, next up we've got Selvin.
I just looked to the sky, seeing the thing just absolutely starting to wreck. Stone Giant's like, man, I wish I had wings. You'll do. And I'll just start whacking the android. That's right next to me.
Sounds good. There's our nat 1 from the player side. It's a miss.
Second attack.
That's a hit.
I'll just do a regular hit. Oh, it's a lot of ones. Bonus action. That's it.
Sounds good. Next up, Scenario.
I will turn to the big robot and the android that are close together, and I will summon a hypnotic pattern over both of them. So the pacifier failed. So it is incapacitated and its speed drops to 0.
Is this charm?
This is a charm effect.
He's immune to charm effects.
Okay. Well, then
Darn
it has no effect at
robots.
all.
Damn robots.
Damn
That's too bad.
robots.
That would have been rad.
Those wobots.
And then I will throw sorry, Selvin, you can't reach the big guy. I'm going to give the giant the bardic inspiration.
It's okay.
Yeah, he probably needs it. He hasn't been doing so good on his attack rolls, but he can definitely reach it. Cool. Next up are the androids. First one, taking a couple of karate chops at Selvin. And the first one is a critical hit.
Haha.
16 points of damage. You maintain concentration on your shield. Gonna do a roundhouse kick, but you are block that one. Android 2 over by Neilmerg and Jarl. It's going to go ahead and take a couple of swings at Neilmerg. Has been peppering it with these crossbow bolts. First one is a 17 to hit, dealing 10 points of damage. The second attack, an 18.
I'm gonna cutting words that. Oh, actually, I'm not sure I can. No, he's out of range.
"12 points of damage. Neilmerg drops unconscious. Android 3 over by Rurik is going to take a couple of swings. A 22 will hit. 4 points of damage. And the follow-up, an 18 will hit, dealing 11 points of damage. And then we are up to Jarl.
Jarl's gonna sidestep to get closer to Neilmerg, and then he's gonna I guess he'll do his he'll use his key action to or a key point to do a stunning strike on the android. How do I do that? Do I just drag it? Or...
That's with an attack. So you have to hit him first.
Oh, I have to hit him first? Okay. All right.
And you don't have to spend the key point until you hit.
Okay, sounds good.
Do you?
In that
Am I
case,
wrong? Am I wrong about that?
I don't think you're wrong. I think that's correct.
I'll
When you
strike
it
you.
says when you hit another creature.
Yeah, so you hit. Now you can choose to spend the key point to stun him.
I'll use that key point.
Okay.
How do I
Let's see. I very quickly put your character together because I just got it
Okay.
right before we went on.
Right.
So what do you happen to know what your formula is for your DC?
give me
that I
Wisdom
need to make?
based.
yeah,
wisdom
it's
based, okay.
wisdom. Yeah.
So I think it would be
These are DC
11 plus
14
for right
now.
mod.
DC 14. It fails, so he is stunned. And you can also hit him up with the damage from that unarmed strike.
Sure. Go back to my actions. There we go.
All right, very nice.
Okay, and then I get a bonus action, right, to attack again.
And I think you've got extra attack, right?
Yeah, I have one extra. Well, I have as my bonus action. It's an extra unarmed
So
attack.
your attack action, I think, gives you 2 attacks, and then you can still use your bonus action to
Bonus
attack
action
again.
to either attack or attack twice with, flurry of blows, because monks
Okay.
are cool.
Well, I guess I'll use them all then.
Yeah, monks are
Do
all
it.
about
Definitely.
by paper cut.
Unless there's a way that I could automatically stabilize Nilmerg?
Well, you already took your attack action, so you might as well you take your extra.
I got you. I understand. Thank you. There we go. Oops, I didn't mean to do that.
Nice. No, you're at advantage. It's stunned.
No, it's because he's
Oh,
stunned.
yeah, that's
Yep.
right. Okay. That's right. It automatically does it. Awesome.
And 9 points of damage.
Get one more, right?
And another hit. And
I'm
another
just
9 points.
I'm trying to rip the wires
It's-
out.
Yeah, pieces of its like metal chassis are just falling out. You're seeing these like weird kind of tendrils of different multicolored thread inside its body that are kind of shredded and sparking out. But it is still moving and operating, at least for the moment.
Alex, does it feel like physics work as normal here?
Yes, you feel like you're pretty much in command of yourself.
So, like, to go from the stone I'm on to the middle stone, I would need to be able to jump 15 feet.
Yeah, you saw.
Okay.
However, there are like some different moats and things like that are there smaller that you might be able to kind of frog step onto
Okay.
and hop over there. And it'll just do like we'll do some kind of a skill check to make that happen.
Sure. Okay.
We get back up to the top with the pacifier robot, which is just relentless on the stone giant here. You see it suddenly. There's like a metal plate that kind of withdraws and goes inside the body of the robot, and this huge beam of green light, almost like a projector kind of light, just all encompasses the entire body of the stone giant. And you see him suddenly like kind of struggling as he is going to make a strength check.
Add a +2 bonus.
And he's got Bardic Inspiration if he wants it.
Yes.
And
Definitely.
fortunately, he doesn't need it on this. You see him kind of get pulled up for a little bit, but he just kind of seems to kind of grab at some kind of invisible force and like pulls himself back down, and he's still grounded on the moat there. But this thing is not done. It's going to fire off a couple more attacks with the arcs of light. First attack is a 23, which hits him for 14 points of damage. He makes a Constitution saving throw, makes it, to avoid being stunned himself. Second attack is a miss, and one more with the larger rifle that he's been using at the end. 16 also misses. We turn now to Nilmerg. Rolls a nat 1 on the death saving throw.
No.
That is 2 fails. Chat, Nilmerg might need your assistance. He is at two fails. One more and he'd be dead. We'll see. We'll check back in with Nilmerg in a round or so. The stone giant is up. Takes a couple of swings with the spear at the pacifier robot. Lands a hit, dealing 17 points of damage.
Yeah.
Second attack is a 13. What is his, the Bardic Inspiration die is D8.
D8. Yep.
He'll throw that in there. And that's going to bring it to a 20. That's enough to hit.
Nice.
Dealing 24 points to the pacifier robot. You can see he's pierced through that shield and has done some structural damage to this magical artifact that is floating around. Rurik, you are up.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and attack again. Ooh.
Oh,
nat
no.
1.
You have Bardic Inspiration to make that not a 1 anymore?
No.
No.
Roll a d6 and let's see. I
Oh,
haven't gotten
no.
to roll my fumble table yet tonight.
So
Oh,
And here it
no.
is.
Evil.
Gotta have at
Oh,
least
thanks for the
one.
jams, man.
And
get
thank
the
you
one
for the
automatically next to
cheer.
it instead.
So, okay. So you go to take a swing with your short sword, and you notice a beam of light coming from the pacifier robot shoots out and grabs hold of your weapon, and you're struggling and struggling until it's turning the weapon back towards you, and you manage to wound yourself because of this.
Oh.
You will take 8 points of damage. I'll add that in there.
okay.
So that was your action to take that swing.
Okay. So I am.
Winston. Yay.
Thank you, Winston, for saving him. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and ready a dodge action. Can I do that? 'Cause I'm still,
Do you
You
have?
can as a rogue.
yeah.
Yeah, if you've got,
That's
you
a
got.
monk. It's a monk thing, not a rogue thing.
Monks can do it with Step of the Wind, but can't rogues do dodge?
They
It's one of
can
the two.
dash, dodge, or dash, disengage, or hide with the
Yeah,
free
there-
action.
yeah.
There might be an archetype that has it. I'm not familiar enough. If you got that archetype, you some ability that I don't know about, you could. But
Otherwise, you could just get away,
Right
which means you'll
away.
attack me, but that's fine.
Small price to pay.
Okay.
Protect yourself. Scenario will be fine.
Nope. Nope. It's just the uncanny dodge, which is a reaction and not.
And if you have a dagger, you could probably do an offhand.
I do not have a dagger. Oh, I do have a dagger, so I can do an offhand.
yeah, you could offhand it as a bonus action.
Okay, then let's do that. It's
And
no good.
next up, we've got Selvin.
I'm going to drop concentration on Shield of Faith. Hear me out. It's all part of my plan. For my bonus action, I'm going to cast Thunderous Smite. Does this creature or does Android constitute as a creature?
Yeah, he's a creature. It's a creature.
Excellent. I will take one step to my left. As we know, left is always right. I'm going to put this effect on myself. And I will use my inspiration to roll this attack at advantage. So
That'll hit.
it'll take this much damage. It must make a strength saving throw or be pushed 10 feet back. If I'm not mistaken, 10 feet back's off the platform.
13.
That is my DC. Roll up, math. Yep, that's my DC.
You wanted to step back to where you started, right? You did, right?
Yeah, but he made the save, so it doesn't matter.
But you did want to step back to where you started, right? Because you don't want to be where you are, right?
Trying to piece together what's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
You want
Sure.
to take a 5-step back. You do what you
I'm
need to do.
I am so befuddled what you're trying to think of. I will maneuver myself this way then, because sure.
I'm guessing you can't be inspired if you're just a little bit away.
I think I'm still out of range because I think inspiration is like, what, 30 feet?
No, it wasn't that at all, but I'm happy you
Oh.
moved.
I think he's casting a spell, so I'll take that hint and just take another swing. And I'll be extra mean and just put a little divine justice onto this. As we know, this is for the most justice.
All right.
That is everything.
All right. Let's find out what Scenario's got going.
I'm going to fairy fire those two, and I didn't want to fairy fire
Oh,
you.
gotcha.
Uh,
And you catch the pacifier robot.
Well, that's good. He's the one I want to catch. And then with my bonus action, I will give Bardic Inspiration back to the giant again.
Sounds good. Androids are back in it. The one right by Selvin, 2 swings. An 18 misses. And a 13 misses. Android 2 over by Jarl and Nilmerg. Going to turn its attention to Jarl. A 24 to hit. Deals 11 points. Second attack is a miss. And the other one over by Rurik and Scenario. Gonna dole out some punishment to Rurik. A 16 is a hit. So this is the situation where you could use that uncanny dodge if you want to have this damage.
I do want to do that.
So the total would have been 9 points. You'll take 4. I'll add that on there for you.
Thank you.
Second attack is a 20 to hit. 13 points. Rourke still
Cutting
on.
words that.
I'm still standing.
What are you still standing if you take 13 more? You just barely.
Just barely.
on the
Okay.
cusp.
All right. I will not then.
Okay. And now Jarl, it is your turn.
Okay. Now with that, with the that 20 that he received, does that give him 2 success
gonna-
rolls?
It's gonna give him a 1 hit point at the start of his turn.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Sounds
He'll
good.
be conscious.
Yeah. In that case, I'll attack this android. All right.
Punch him in the face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rod, punch him in the face.
Let me get my actions. All right. First attack.
Ooh, square in the face.
Boom. He's not moving. He just
Nice.
It goes down.
Nice. Nicely
In the
done.
face.
So that was just 1 attack. You look down, you see Nilmerg is starting to come to.
All right. I don't know if maybe I can make it to the other. I'll say, hang in there, Nil.
Do it,
And I'll
be a
kinda-
hero.
All right. Run and start. Running jump.
And just for the drama of it, give me either an
Of
athletics
course.
or an acrobatics check.
I'll do an acrobatics for sure.
I'll save you.
And because you're a monk, this is easy. You are kind of hopping and skipping along the different motes of earth that are floating up, and you make it just movement speed across the chasm there.
Okay. Cool. And I can't. It's up in the air, right? I can't.
That thing is up in the air. The other thing is the android is on the ground.
5, 10, 20. Here, and then I could finish with 2 more attacks.
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna do that. Let me go. And I apologize for the little delay. I'm getting used to this.
Oh,
Alright, here we
you're
go.
totally fine. All right, that's a hit. 8 points,
One more. Here we go.
and that one will miss.
I was too excited with that last punch. I was a little winded getting the. Okay.
And now we're back at the top with the pacifier robot. and suddenly you can see from it 3 beams of light. A little circle of red dot right on the back of Selvin's head, one
Oh, no.
on the back of Jarl's head, and one
Uh-oh.
square in the middle of the stone giant's head.
Why did I
It's
come
that
over there?
it's that kill move we've seen happen. I feel like this is a very Anvil of Dawn moment from Gears of War, where just this nice little red light comes in and they all come together and then just death.
I think it's high noon.
Yeah, I don't play Overwatch. I'm sorry.
And so it's going to let out a barrage of attacks, one on each of you.
Oh joy!
Mhm.
The first one at Selvin. A 28 will hit.
Okay. That's a lot of dice.
15 points of damage.
Mm.
And a
Cool.
Constitution saving throw, which you fail.
I actually succeed because of my aura.
Oh, do you? Okay.
I still have that. I just don't know how to program it. So technically it's
Okay.
a 13.
A 13. A 13 will make the save. So I can pull that off of you. Whew. All right. So it hurts a lot, but you're still not concussed. The other one is going to do the same at Jarl. An 18.
Uh, I can cutting words that, so I'm going to. I'm going to reduce that by a D8.
I would also like to do my Aura of the Guardian. So
Okay,
instead,
hold on. I want
Sorry.
to resolve this first thing. Is that off the attack roll?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It
then
can, cutting words can be off of an attack or a damage roll. So I'm
So-
reducing the attack.
14 Jarl, would that hit you?
14 would not hit me.
So it doesn't even hit. But then go
Okay.
ahead, Dawson. What did you have something that still applies here?
he has to get hit.
Okay,
So no.
so phew, scenarios
It goes-
words kind of inspire you to just
The laser-
sidestep. Yes, and the last attack is going to be here on the giant.
I have one more one more inspiration I can draw on at some point.
34 points to the
Jeez.
stone giant, who is not looking so good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Neil
give him the aura
Merg,
from that.
But he's
Uh,
already dead, so
It's true. But you don't know what happens to his spirit after he's gone. You can't talk to him then.
no.
Not dead.
It's not
Neil
allowed to
Merg, Neil Merg, you have 1 hit point. You're prone on the ground. You can use half your movement to stand back up.
Okay, I am standing up, and first thing I'm gonna do, bonus action for second wind. I'm not sure how. that's something
Actually, that one I added onto your sheet. So if you go to your actions tab, go to where the second wind is,
Yeah, I see it.
and you can click that heal button there, and that'll automatically do the roll and apply it to your
Might
hit
have to
points.
click the magnifying glass first, but then you'll see the heal.
Okay, yeah, I didn't.
Perfect. Max heal.
Okay,
Right.
and
Beautiful.
then I am going to be using the longbow after, the mini Death Star.
We have ways of making you talk.
That's a hit.
And that hit.
Five points.
All right, doing it again.
Critical
Nice.
hit.
Crit.
That
So
that-
many crits.
that one's gonna be automatically the program knows it's a crit, so you just have to do damage to it.
Okay.
You don't have to add the
Money.
extra dice.
Big money, big money.
All right, 12 points of damage.
And then I'm action surging.
All right,
Beautiful fighter, you.
Mm-hmm.
Another crit.
Another crit.
Oh, beautiful.
Nice.
Fighters. They're so cool.
So roll another die there.
And then roll, yeah. You just pick up a D8 and throw it into the chat. I'll add it in here.
Oh,
Another 7 points.
Oh,
all right, and I have one more attack.
$22 to hit.
Not a crit. I'm sorry, guys.
we're disappointed.
We'll let
But
that
it's
one
the
go.
maximum damage you could do on that. So
You
11
are
more
just-
points.
On the
And
ball.
thus ends my turn.
The pendulum has
You,
swung
you
for
accomplished a
Neilbert.
little bit there. You got a
That
little
felt
bit. there.
good.
The
Felt
guy
good.
who's standing over there basically dead.
You
Somebody
felt
showed
good.
up to do work.
It's about, yeah.
The stone giant will take its turn, taking a couple stabs upward with the spear. First attack hits. It deals 23 points. Second attack hits again. 21 points of damage.
Fairy fire's the best.
Yes. Rurik, it is your turn.
Okay. Once again,
You do what you do. I will heal you when I can.
thank you. I appreciate that. Gotta get better armor. Oh, man. Gotta get better die.
You have not spent your bardic inspiration,
I have not spent.
so
No.
you could add a d8 to that.
No, I did.
Did you?
Yes, I-
No. Well,
No.
I don't think you
just-
did because you actually hit. So you were going to, but then you realized that you actually hit, so you didn't need to.
Okay, then I will definitely use it. And it's, come on, you can do this. Where's the D8? My fantasy grounds is like molasses. I kid you not.
I've got so many things loaded into this community campaign from 2 years of running it that might have an impact on it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that will still miss with a 15,
Okay,
but it was worth a shot.
it was worth a shot. So, can I do an offhand attack with my dagger?
Yes.
Then I will do that. Thank you for bearing with me while I learn all of this. And it's a miss again. And I am going to disengage.
You just use your bonus action to do that second.
Bonus action for that. Never mind, then I can't.
You'll be fine. Don't worry.
I will understand this.
Selvin.
I am sick of these guys. They don't even blink. I will cast Thunderous Smite at 2nd level. I don't know how to worry about the program for that, but that's okay. I did something bad there. I grabbed my token max, and that's not right. So I'll do that effect.
I'll work
I'm
grabbing token into the song about polishing your tool later.
And then and then
Okay.
bonk.
And bonk, you do. That's a
And
hit.
I'll be even extra mean because I'm sick of this fight already because these guys are just like, aha, we're robots. You can't hurt us. They're like, no, you're wrong. So 2nd level Divine Smite. So in short, all of the dice.
And all of those dice happen. Big beam of light as you connect with the metal of the robot. It's still up.
And he must make a strength saving throw. Or he
Wonder if
pushed
your
10
might-
feet
if
back.
your-
Oh, maybe he's
wonder
not
if your
still
mace
up.
of smiting would work against if these count as constructs.
sure
That's
do.
nothing.
Um,
Also, addition that was from the 3rd level because the 2nd level because I only had 2d6, it's supposed to be 3d6.
okay,
So it's
so
initial
three
3 points.
3 more points of damage. Got it.
And
He
I
makes
assume
a
we
save.
cast. Yeah, but I still have a second attack.
That's a hit. And finally, you push him off. He shatters his arms and his torso kind of fall into pieces and kind of drift away. And disappear as they fall off of the ledge.
Severed arm tries to claw its way back up onto the platform and then
No, no,
No, no,
I
no.
don't want it. That will be literally everything.
Robotic crawling hand. Scenario, it is your turn.
All right, I'm going to stab this guy right next to me with my rapier.
Thank you.
Nice.
12
And
points.
then with my bonus action, I will cast a healing word on my friend Rurik at 3rd level.
All right.
And I will scream and yell and try to make the android look at me.
Give me an intimidation check.
"21."
Your wish is your command here as it turns around and very robotically comes in with the chop. First attack is a miss. Second attack is a 19.
I will shield it.
Protects you. We turn to Jarl.
Jarl's going to grab his spear that he conveniently had behind him, tucked in the back of his robe, his monk robes. Pull it out and go to try to shoot it up at that robot. It's really
What was the weapon?
the spear.
Okay. Throw in the spear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Okay.
The 14 will be a miss.
Okay. And
Is it using your strength instead of your thing?
I think it might have been using my strength. Yeah, I don't think it's
It's
adjusted
not a
to
monk
the
weapon. Not a monk
dexterity.
weapon.
I think all simple weapons are monk weapons as long as they're not heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So that should have used your dex. So it
Yeah.
should have been.
So it
Fantasy
should have
Grounds
been an
doesn't
extra
always
4.
know that, so that might be something you need to build in.
Mm-hmm. I'd have to write that in. Or put
I had to
in
do
somewhere.
that for pack weapons for my warlock.
Okay.
So it should have been, what, 18?
Yes.
18, I'm not sure. 18 still doesn't hit. But it misses, so it didn't connect or anything. It drops down. If you want to give it a
All
little
right.
chuck up, sure.
I'll run over around real quick. Wait, give me a second. Pick it up and throw it again.
Oh, sorry, dude. That's mine. Oh, that was me.
Oh, one more time. It's like when you're trying to get something down from a tree, and you're like, "I got it, guys," and you throw it, and it just keeps on missing.
Now, if someone
no,
else
my
another.
shoes
If I only
stuck
had
up
another
there.
spear, I could get the first spear out of the tree. I just need another spear to get it out.
I don't think it doesn't matter if it's stuck on the roof. Oh,
It's
yeah,
just-
scarlet leather.
Dozens
Roof.
upon dozens of spears up in this roof, guys. And okay, so that should be, I think, a 16. That would also miss.
Boom. Oh, guys. Okay. And I can't do an unarmed attack, so that'll be it.
Next up is the pacifier robot. It's going to take all of its shots here. Well, it's going to spread them out. It's still got there's still little dots on each of you.
All right.
Oh no, we gotta use one of its other toys here.
very
Another,
good.
you can see this
Yeah.
like almost looks like a mini cannon, kind of swivels on out of it, and narrows it, angles itself down right on top of you all, and fires off this thing that explodes upon impact. Shoots
Yeah, I
it
see one of
off.
those on the coast.
But it's going to shoot it out towards right down by Jarl. It's going to be Selvin, Jarl, and Stone Giant. You all need to make Oh, what do you need to make?
Is it a charisma saving throw?
It could
Yeah,
be.
that sounds right.
I'm trying to jog my memory. Here we go.
If it's fireball or
Dexterity saving throw.
There. Hey, everyone who's in that range, including myself, you have a +2 bonus.
Damn.
This is gonna hurt. Yep, it is.
Stone Giant makes it. Let's see. Selvin, you had effectively a
12.
14.
Nope, 12. I
Oh,
have
it's
a
a
+2.
12. Okay, you end up taking 22 points of piercing damage.
22. Hold up. Am I still up? Oh, nope.
So Selvin's down. Jarl, you make the save. You take 11 points of damage.
Okay.
So you're still up. And the stone giant is looking pretty bad after that. He kind of dips down, takes a knee. As the explosion, it's really the fragments that of the stone that shoot up that hit you, Selvin, that do that damage. We pass then to Neilmerg.
All right, trusty longbow.
Yeah.
The 22 hits. 10 points of damage.
Come on, Neilmerg.
22 hits.
Oh,
4 points of
Oh.
damage.
that
It's
inside.
sparking. You can see it. It's like all of its like lights that were bright green have turned red. They're blinking very rapidly. It's making some kind of a
regaining
I
siren-y
really wish I had
sound.
another action surge, but I
Is
don't.
it
That ends my
regaining
turn.
health?
The stone giant is going to attempt to take a swing with the aid of the fairy fire. Gets the last blow kind of right at the same time as Neilmerg. You shot that last arrow into its back, and it's starting to blink very rapidly, and he just goes and he chucks his spear out into the nether. And it kind of swirls out there and floats with no gravity on it at all until the thing kind of explodes and shrapnel goes every which way. But it does so safely away from you all. You'll end up dealing with the android over here and defeating it. The main threat here is done. And at the conclusion of the battle, the patriarch of the stone giant family looks at you and he says, "This is but a taste of what I saw on the other side of the valley. Many, many more of these things exist.
No.
If it is true that you have come here and you plan to use our home as a transit point to deal with these things that could spread ruin to the realms, I give you my permission to do so." And with that, the dream fades and you return back after what seems like hours upon hours of being away from the tunnel. But you have managed to get the permission. You've been respectful to the stone giants. You've been respectful to their tradition and their dead. And you will have brokered a deal that will allow the expedition that will come through here in the coming sessions to do so and explore the valley of the Barrier Peaks. So, well done, team. You will all receive your reward of 1,000 gold pieces. I'll just have you on your own character sheets apply that and add that.
We get the hazard pay.
Definitely.
And yes, 1,500. Sorry. So
Right.
you've solved the issue of getting to the other side.
Our money.
You also for this session will receive 6,000 experience points. Which I'll just have you all. Actually, that one That one I can do pretty easy, so I'll do that for you.
I think that puts me over.
Denario is not quite there, but he's not too far off.
I'm pretty close to level 8 now. Woo.
So it looks like Rurik is going up to
7.
level 7.
Level 7.
Yay.
Woo.
What is level 6?
1400. Yep.
Okay, so Jarl and Nilmerg, you are close. Selvin, probably about an adventure away, it looks like, to level 8.
That is good.
So thanks everyone for hanging out with us here tonight on 20 Sides of a Story. We're doing the rare Thursday night subscriber game. If you often are watching Twitch, there'll be more stuff for you to watch on Thursday nights because I think Casey's starting his Forge of Fury. Will be picking up next week. So you come back and check that out. This game that we were doing here tonight was one of our community campaign games. This one here was exclusively for the Patreon, so the higher level community campaign game I'm going to leave exclusive for the Patreons. But we are going to have a brand new tier 1, level 1 to 4 adventure will be starting up, I think, in next month in August. And I'm going to reserve a couple of those spots for people that just subscribe through Twitch, so Twitch Prime subs. So if you had fun hanging out with us, please join us in the Discord. The link is there in the chat. We're always hanging out there, talking some D&D, talking some other nonsense, and keeping ourselves preoccupied during quarantine and such. So come hang out with us. Let's see if we've got any friends that might still be streaming, so we can go and drop a raid on them. Yeah, let's see. We got proficiency bonuses. No, Praetor's Rejects is here playing some D&D. Let's go hang out with them. Thanks, everyone.
Woo.
We're going to sign off here. Have a good night.
Good night.
Night.
At
Night.
all.
Night.
Oh, man.
All right.